everyone, I'm Brian with Playing Per Second, and I am back with the fourth installment here of my Hexplore It solo sessions. And it's the fourth version, which is the domain of Mirza Noctis, which, let's be honest, they should have called Hexplore It, because it just would have made more sense and kind of been on brand for them. So this one here, this is my least favorite of the four Hexplore. It's the newest one. Currently, at the time of filming, Volume 5 is on boats on their way to hubs throughout the world. So that should be arriving hopefully before the end of 2025 here. And I will be putting that to the top of my priority list once I get it, because I love these games, including this one. I love this game. It's just of the four, this is my least favorite. But this is my 14th play of this version. So again, I don't hate it. I didn't throw it away. I'm going to keep it. It is my 95th play of Hexplore in general. So this is just kind of not the one that I choose to go to. So as we play, I'll kind of explain why. I completely understand why this is some people's favorite. There's a lot going on here that is different than some of the other ones. A lot of it I like, and some of it I don't. So we are going to attempt a true solo session again today. So this is the third true solo I've done. One of them I did double-handed, which was a bit much. So we're going to attempt a true solo. Hopefully it goes well. And I actually let the game dictate who I'm going to play. So why don't you go ahead and join me here at the table, and I'll tell you what I mean. Okay, so we are set up here. Just got to fix my board slightly. And as I was dealing out the four cards here for the day as well as the night, so you choose every movement phase, whether you're going to move through the day or through the night. And as I was setting up, a few of these came up. And these are cards that are basically in here that will... They're called heroic cards, but they will buff certain classes. No, roles. They're called roles. They'll buff certain roles from this particular game. They're not in here for all of the roles because there are a lot of them. But for this particular game, there's one card for every role. So I think I had 3 or 4 pop up. So I looked at those. I'm like, all right, I'll try to play one of those. And the one that I decided to go with was the medium. Now, I have not played the medium before, but they seemed pretty interesting. They have some heal ability. They have a little bit of help doing some damage. So I'm hoping they're good true solo, but we're going to find out. This little coin here, by the way, and I will probably forget to flip this, but this is night and this is day. And the only purpose of this is to tell you, hey, is it night or day when you're moving? So I'm just going to kind of try to keep that someplace visible. Everything is kind of condensed though, so that I can get more on camera. So for the time being, we'll put that there. Okay, so like I said, we do have the medium, and I went with a rare race because I figured I might need all the help I can get. I also went with a food rating of 0 on this one. So again, kind of not easy mode, but easier mode to be sure. So the medium, what they have going on here is they have a passive ability. For every 10 ranks that you have in energy, you get a spirit encounter as a possessor. So I have the level 1 and the level 2 spirit encounter over here. And basically my abilities will allow me to use them in fights. For whatever they can do, I can effectively control them and do those things during the fights, which is pretty neat. So for the time being, I really haven't looked at those guys too much. We'll wait until we get into a fight. Differences between this one and the other ones. So you're going to notice there normally are 2 rows of cards. But there's normally like a quest row or like a destination row in Forest of Adramon, which gives you the things you're trying to do. So, the places on the board that you're going to go and you're going to complete tests and you're going to do those things. Yay. Then there's also usually a circumstance row, which is your events that you're going to draw and possibly encounters. What they did in this one is they kept the 2 rows, but they combined the 2 decks. So in these decks, there's the night deck and the day deck. You'll have discoveries, you'll have some nature, you'll have some afflictions, all things that you would have normally have found in the circumstance deck. You will also have, like this is a navigate check, this is a bounty, so kind of your quests or your goals or whatever are also in the same deck. It's one of the things I don't like about it, because you can, as we have, kind of get stuck with nothing to do. So the other thing here you'll notice on the board, well, hopefully you'll notice, there's these little runes. They're little like half gem things. And there are 3 different colors in the base game. And in the expansion, they add a 4th color. I've mixed in expansion content, but I'm going to avoid anything with the expansion. The expansion adds madness, and it adds basically a completely different end game. They're completely different bosses. There's 4 of them instead of 1. But again, we're just going to avoid that. So if I have anything that pops up that mentions madness, I'm just going to get rid of it because, again, I've mixed everything in. So that is kind of one of the reasons I don't like that, is because, as I mentioned, currently on the board, there's 2 things we can do to get runes. You're trying to get runes so that you can trade them in. That's how you get power-ups in this game. The 2 that we have are both bounties. That just happen to be the only 2 that popped up. One's a level 5 boss and one's a level 6 boss. So I can't even do those, which is fine. You could also get bad card draw in the previous games as well, but you at least had 4 opportunities guaranteed to get those. It's fine. It's just, it's weird how they did it. Now, there are also investigations. So whenever you see this little magnifying glass symbol, since I'm traveling at night, when I roll the circumstance step, if I roll, I think this is, I covered up the numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's left to right. Yeah. So if I roll a 3 or a 1, a 3, or a 4, you will put an investigation cube on it. Those investigation cubes, it tells you what they do. So for instance, when we finally go and do this card here, this one's called Fusion. When we go and do this, which we can't because we have to find the tile, but when we go and do it, for every cube that's on there, you'll get a monster bait, which is a silly 2 words combined, but it's also an item that you can get. And for this one over here, it actually has an effect on the boss that you'll be fighting. For our card, which is why I'm starting at night, because I want to get some of these on the card for the medium, it actually allows you to roll a stat test. And if you're successful, you can search the discard pile for an encounter of your choice and you gain it as a possessor. So I can go through the encounter, grab a level 5 that looks awesome that can help us out, and add them as one of our possessors. But the clue itself actually does not do anything. I think every clue on here, I think, lowers your roll, so it makes it easier for you. Each one can have a max of 3 clues. So when you see these little guys on there, I'll be adding those throughout the game, and I'm not going to be explaining it probably every time. That's what those are. So cool. But otherwise, the core gameplay is the same. The boss in this one is Mirza Noctis, hence the name of the game. There he is in his undead or ascendant form, but then that's his ascendant form, which basically it's almost like he's a blood mage kind of dealio. Some vampire insinuations. He uses blood, and you also can use blood. There is blood magic in the game, but he is collecting blood throughout the game. And once he gets to 100 blood, that triggers the fight, or you have to go find his castle, which is in the hex tiles, which the hex tiles are always in the game. It's these guys here. I should probably give them a shuffle here. His castle is in one of these hex tiles, and you don't know which one when you're starting the game, so you might have to explore all of these tiles to find where he is to ultimately go and, punch him in the face. Or you could draw it on the first one and technically go fight him turn 1. The amount of blood that he has, even if he doesn't get to 100, he gets stronger the more blood he has. And he'll have collectors come up on the board. There'll be these little D3s. It's not really a D3, but yeah, they're D3s. And yeah, that's basically it. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, I'll kind of explain some of the stuff as we go along here. I believe everything is in camera. It is true solo mode, so we started with 2 sovereign elixirs, which I don't think I even looked up what they did. Hopefully we don't need them. Hold on here. We'll figure it out. All right. Oh, it removes a critical wound, which is new to this game, or raises 10 health. So you can only consume 1 every game turn. Critical wounds, there's a little thing here. Just kind of sit next to your board. And sometimes you will take 5 critical damage. What that means is you take 5 health damage, but you also gain a little black cube here that is a critical wound. If you ever get enough critical wounds to kill you, you're dead. Bye, you're gone. And for every character, it's 3 plus your food rating. So for me, it's 3. If I get a 3rd critical wound, I'm dead. So they start you in a true solo game with 2 ways to get rid of critical wounds. Okay, let's just go ahead and get started here. So again, the game moves the same way. The first thing we're going to do is move. However, I rolled randomly. We're starting on this village here. The villages are yellowish orange color. There are 7 of them, so when you move at night, if you ever have to pick a random village, if you move at night, you roll the d6 and you add 1. That's how you get to 7. If you move at day, it's just a straight d6 roll. The red hexes are bosses. Now this is also new to the game. This one here you may or may not be able to see because the camera again is kind of zoomed out so you can see everything I've got going on here. But this is boss 4. That's how all of the Hexplorets work. You go to a boss spot, they all have a number on it. You go and you fight that boss number. However, this one's a little bit different. That is still boss 4. Cool, that works like normal. However, these here you're going to see have, and you might not be able to tell what it is, but it's a D12 die. They have a name for this die. I don't remember what it is. But basically, when you go there, you can pick what boss you want to fight. But when you pick what boss you want to fight, they have a random table up here. So if I choose the Cardinal Coven, which is actually one of our goals here, it is technically, if I go here, I can fight the Cardinal Coven, but they are a level 5 boss, so I'm not ready for that yet. There's a little chart here, this little table, and it's a random boss. So you're going to roll this, and on a 4 to 10, I fight the Cardinal Coven. On a hex to 3, I fight the Mad Alchemist. And on 11 or 12, you fight the Meat Hook, but they also have a roll. And I think you would roll and potentially have to do that again. That's a rule that I hope to not have to look up, because I think you do, though, because he is another boss that has like a random outcome, whether or not he's actually there or not. Not all of them have that, but the ones that don't are usually bosses you fight because of events and stuff like that that come up. Okay, other solo rules. When we're in a fight, I can pay 1 energy to also defend on top of whatever else I'm doing at half rank. So that's a solo rule throughout all of the games. And then whenever we are trying to complete an investigation, so one of these things and we need to roll, I'm going to roll 2 of each color and I take the best option. So, and again, I think that's the same in all of them as well. Cool, let's go ahead and get started. So, because we are right here on the edge, before we even spend our move, which our move does start the normal 4 and then 1 for cautious, which I haven't filled that in yet here. I'm going to kind of leave that there. Hopefully people can see it. There's so much going on here, and when you're trying to get it all on the camera, you know, I'm only using about half this table. If I were playing without recording, I could use it all. Everything would go great. And if and when we get to the dungeon, yeah, I don't know yet. I haven't really figured that out. It's going to happen, but I haven't really figured it out. So we're going to draw a random tile and already have to move that. Here we go. We got tile L. On tile L here, it looks like we have boss 3. We have a random boss fight. And do we have anything? We have nothing for tile L. So we're just going to go ahead and put this one. Move this temporarily. As a matter of fact, I'm going to move my night deck just probably off camera, just over here, just to kind of get it out of my way since I'm going to be traveling this way. Okay, so there's nothing really there that we really want. What we're looking for, by the way, not only are we looking for Mirza Noctis' castle, but we're also looking for crypts and monasteries. So monasteries are pink and crypts are purple. And yes, they're very close to the same color, but that's kind of what we're looking for. Crypts are locked. You can try to unlock the crypt. That's how you go into the dungeon. Monasteries is where you're going to buy stuff. But the monasteries, I'll show you their thing here. You can buy all this stuff. However, you can only buy this top section until you unlock your first crypt. And then you can buy these sections. And then once you unlock your second crypt, you can do all of these stuff, just not this bottom section. And then once you unlock your third crypt, you can buy anything on here, including if you have any extra crypt keys, because there are several ways to get them, you can just get a power-up. I am not playing with my Valor this time, mainly because genuinely I forgot to look at it before I started hitting record. So I think it would have started us with a crypt key. We don't have a crypt key, so we can either roll to try to get in, or there are certain bosses you can fight to get crypt keys, things like that. The other thing is, you cannot buy gear upgrades until you unlock a crypt, and then you can buy the first 2. Then once you unlock a second crypt, you can buy the next 2. And if you unlock 3 crypts, you can buy all of your gear upgrades. And by that, I mean around the edge. You can buy 6 gear upgrades in total. You can still gain them. As a matter of fact, at the start of the game, you get 6 gear upgrades to spend through all of your heroes. So because I'm just doing 1, I used all of them on my medium, Sean Spencer, which if you're a fan of Psych, I love you, but also that's why I named him Sean Spencer. Great show. So yeah, you want to find the monasteries because that's where you're going to buy cool things, but also you want to find crypts and unlock them so that you can get your gear upgrades and buy cooler things. Okay, so I also you start with $10 that you can spend at the village. I bought 2 hunter's gear. You can buy 3 of these total, and what they do is you gain 1 health and 1 energy when you kill something, after you're done killing something. So I got that just for little bonuses after the killy. All right, we're going to go ahead and move 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to reveal another tile. Let's see what we got here. We're going to move the battle mat already because it's going to be in the way. Hey, we have monastery number 1. They are numbered. The numbers for the monasteries kind of matter. When you're turning runes in, you turn them in either at a monastery or a crypt. And depending on where you turn them in, you get different rewards for them. So this one, do I have anything in N? No. Cool. Still can't do anything. All right. Then we're just going to move our fort. Whoop, I don't think... Yeah, we can't move there. That is a mountain, and because it extends past the hex, unless we have scaling gear, climbing gear, scaling kit, I was close, you can't move through those. We did start with the canoe. That is something that we started with because we started on a village 6. Otherwise, water spaces are impassable. So, you know, all of these vast water spaces, there are 2 at the bottom of the board we can go through. Sweet starting spot. So we're just going to go ahead and go right here. Cool, that was our movement. So just like all the Hexplore, we now have to roll our skills. These colors are going to match up with your skills on the bottom of my board that you can probably see currently throughout the game. I don't know if you will. I will probably move some stuff here in anger, frustration, or joy. Those are the options. So let's see here. All right, a 5, and a 6. Those are all going to be fails. So what we're looking at here, again, if you haven't seen my previous ones or you're new to Hexplore, you have your navigate, which is green. Well, my navigate is a 3. So I wanted a 3 or lower. Hexes are 1s on these dice. There's a hex. So a hex would have been good. Didn't get it. Hex is also a crit, and a 10 is a crit fail. So I got a 5. Didn't pass navigate. What that means is I now have to wander. I didn't find where I was trying to go. So we'll just do that real quick. I wander in Hex. Hex is straight up as shown by the thing I covered up somewhere right there. So Hex is straight up. Hex on this die is a 6. It's the highest. It's a little weird. You'll get used to it. So that just means we go right there. We did not end up where we wanted to be. But honestly, we didn't really want to be there. That's annoying when you're trying to get to a specific location. But right now, we're just trying to find stuff. Our Explore is the yellow. What that means is, again, we failed, but had we passed that, we would have found some gold. In this game, I actually have to look it up because I think it's only 1 in this version of the game. It is usually 2. Nope, I was wrong. It's 2. Okay, so you gain 2 gold worth of treasure, which you would just store or keep right down here. Cool. And then survival. Survival doesn't matter for us that much because our food rating is 0. So we failed survival because 6 is not 3 or less. Normally that would mean you would have to eat. So that's another mechanic of the game where you have to keep track of how much food you have, and now we would have to eat some food. So, but in our case, our food rating is 0 because we're a golem. We don't need food. So yeah, that was our turn. Now we're in the middle of nowhere, and because we're in the middle of nowhere, just kind of guess show these off too. It is 2 placards, kind of like Sands of Shurax. It was 2 placards because the Ravager was huge. This one, they just give you keywords and conditions on the back, which I think this is the first time they've done that. That is clutch because you always had to look them up in the book before. So that's nice. Keep doing that, please. So yeah, in this case, we're ready for the circumstance phase. You do not roll a circumstance if you are on a location that has an event, which are these locations. We're not. So we're going to roll them circumstance. Because we are traveling at nighttime, we're looking at these cards down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we roll a 5 or a 6, we will get a encounter, which are usually fights, like very high rating. Some of them aren't fights. Some of them, I think, are boons or menaces, something like that. Good things or bad things that happen, but most of them are fights. We rolled a 1. Oh, okay, cool. That is our medium card. So we're going to put a clue cube on there. Now, something else we can do with this, if we wanted to, you either add a clue marker or you play it. So if I played this, I can do what it says. And it says if the medium is not in the group, get rid of the card. For the medium, you're going to roll a stat test against Spiritual Synergy, which is my first mastery here, the purple one, which is 4. If you're successful, that's when I get to search for the encounter and grab an encounter of my choice and add it as a possessor, which I really want that. I'm not going to do a stat test against a 4, though. Only a 40% chance that I'm going to get it, right? Because you're looking for the 4 or lower. So for the time being, I'm just going to add a cube to that, which is going to be a negative modifier on a future roll. So that was good. But that is it. That is the circumstance phase. There is no event phase. So now it is always the end of the phase is, or I'm sorry, the end of the turn is the villain phase. So how Mirza Noctis works, and this gets a little annoying, but depending on what you do on your turn. So for instance, we did normal movement. So you'll see here these little blood drops, and then there's a die pictured. Normal movement means there's no modifier to the die roll. So had we moved recklessly, we would have had a -2 to the die roll. Had we camped, we would have had a +2 to the die roll. And this die here is just basically a counter die to help you remember after you've moved, because depending on what you're doing, your turn could take a little while. Remember what you're adding to the roll. So in our case, we moved normally. There is no modifier to the roll. We didn't do anything else that is going to modify the roll. So looking right here, it just says he is going to enact his secretive plans from the sidelines. He is never on the board. I think this is the first boss. Yeah, Adramon is technically not on the board, but she has like a base of operations that is. So, but Mirza Noctis is never actually on the board. So at the beginning of the villain phase, he's going to add 1 blood to the blood pool for each collector. Now, these are the collectors. We don't currently have any on the board. How do they get added? Great question. I'm glad you asked. We're going to get into that here real quick. Now, if it ever gets to 100, as I mentioned, the blood pool fight starts, and he is super difficult. Or at least he's at his best. And then that is basically what you're going to do for his turn, is you're going to roll a die. Now, it's a different placard, because why wouldn't it be? And that one is over here. So you're looking at this chart here. I'm sorry, no, these are his augments at the end of the game. You're looking at this chart here, the villain action. So you're going to roll that D12, which does it say what it is here? Nope. So this D12 here. That is a hex. We have no modifiers, so we're just going to look at hex. Each hero loses 1 gold or 2 food. I have no food and no gold, so nothing's going to happen to me in that particular case. Most of these, I think all of these, are bad. Now, if you're less than 0, so had I rolled that hex and I had a negative modifier, so if I had moved recklessly, nothing would have happened there as well. But the collectors get added if we roll a 9, 10, or 11 on those. So what, 25% chance that you're going to add a collector. When you add a collector, we'll get to it when we get to it. But for the time being, we don't add a collector, which means he doesn't get any blood. And he gets his blood at the start of the villain phase. So had we added a 1, and that's how it starts, it adds with 1. Let's say we had put that out here. So that is a collector, and that is 1 blood that collector is collecting. We would add 1 to the blood pool, and then we would roll the moon die, that's what it's called, roll the moon die and consult the placard, and then modify that with any rolls. So, but no blood yet. And that was turn 1. So we're going to rinse and repeat until we find something that we can, do. All right. We're going to move here for 1 and find ourselves another placard. Okay. We found Monastery 2. You can also go to the monastery to heal health and energy, which, we haven't taken any health and energy damage yet. This is tile K. We do have something on tile K. So you can choose how you want to place these. We're going to place it like this, because we can get ourselves a blue rune here. So yeah, that's where we're going to go, I think. Okay. So we're going to go where that blue rune is. Oh, nope, we can't. Well, we can. But we are moving during the night. So we're there, but we're not actually going to be able to, you have to decide what you're moving before your movement phase. So didn't know K was going to come out. Now we know that it's out. So we are just going to move there for the time being, and we're going to switch to daytime next time, and then we will try the dancing trees up here, because that's where that one is located. Okay, so we moved. We're just going to stay there. And again, we might not be there because we do have to pass a navigate check, and we are very low at all threes here. Okay, we passed nothing. So again, we are going to wander in 2, which is going to be right here. Here we go. Okay. All right, we wandered because our navigate was bad. However, next turn we can move cautiously, and when we move cautiously, you don't roll the navigate. You took your time, you got there, you followed the directions, used your GPS, what have you, and you made it. So for the time being, though, we are kind of just sitting out there. We are not on an event location, so we need to roll a circumstance, and it is still nighttime, so we're looking down here. That is a 3, which is this fusion one, which again, we can't do, but it is an investigation. So we are going to put a clue marker on fusion, which will get us the item monster bait for each clue token that is on there. And I don't remember what that does. It has something to do with the encounters because they're the monsters. Okay, that was that. There is no event phase, so it is Mirza Noctis' turn. We moved normally, which is, again, no modification to the die roll. Going to go ahead and roll. And where did I put? Yeah, it's right there. That is a 4. I don't remember where that placard is. I'm going to lose that. All right, a 4. The group must act during the opposite time next turn they did this game turn. That's actually fine because we were going to switch to daytime anyway. So this forces us to go to daytime. So if we didn't want to be in daytime, that would have been bad. But for us, it actually just happens that worked out pretty well. Cool. Okay, so now, top of our next turn, we are going to cautiously move. Now, when we cautiously move, that is a +1 to our eventual moon die roll. So that's what this die is for. You just kind of set it here with a +1 on it. For this turn, it's not going to be that big of a deal, but like if you're doing a boss fight and then after the boss fight you have to roll, this is just to, help you remember, reminder, whatnot. Okay, so we are ready for our skill rolls. But again, we don't need to roll navigate because we made it. We only moved 1 spot. So let's see if we find money. That's really all we care about. Hey, we did. We passed both of them. So because we passed that, we will find $2. And we passed our survival, so we don't need to eat. But if your food rating was greater than 0, you wouldn't have to eat this turn. Okay, let's look and see what we got here. This one is called Dancing Trees. Bewitched, the trees seem to come alive and dance with the wind. Deep in the bark of one of them, you spot a warlock's glyph. Upon further investigation, you find several trees in the area possess them. Do not discard clues after completing this investigation. Instead, move them to other investigations of your choice. So we don't have any on there, so that doesn't take any effect. But we do need to pass a navigate check. Now, my guy has an ability that I could, outside of combat, I could lower my stat test for each possessor I have, which currently is 2. I'm not going to do that currently. Let's just see if we get lucky here. We certainly do not. So that is an 8, which means we did not succeed on this, which is fine. It's going to stay there. We can try it again next turn, which is what we're going to do. However, I do want to double check something. This doesn't seem... Events... Okay, yeah. The runes are considered an event, so you don't do a circumstance. Just wanted to make sure, because they're not pictured there. So I just wanted to make sure that they were still considered an event. They are. Okay. That's us. We did move cautiously, which means we are adding 1 to this roll. So that is 11. That becomes a 12, which I'm pretty sure is bad. It's on top, Brian. All right. Yep. Roll again twice with no modifiers to the roll. If another 12 is rolled, immediately add 1 to the blood pool for each collector in play. So we're going to roll twice. I should have gotten 2 of these out, but I didn't. Okay, that is a 5. So we are going to take 1 piercing health damage. And that was our first roll. It's cocked. And 10. Okay. And a 10 is a collector. Cool. So our first collector is going to come out. It's going to go to a random village. Now we move during the day, so this is just going to be a straight D6, and it goes to the village. It goes to Hex, which is a 6. So we're going to put this on where we started, actually. They were waiting for us to leave. So now he is going to start collecting 1 blood every turn for the rest of the game. You can go there and you can fight the collectors. I don't think we're ready yet, though, because we've done nothing. So we really need to try to get some power-ups or things like that. Now, the collectors themselves aren't overly difficult individually. However, here they are. If this one gets another collector, they can have a maximum of 3. And if they have a maximum of 3, you have to roll to see what kind of collector you're fighting for every collector that's on there. So currently, you're either going to fight a Clockwork Assassin, a Miskia Chemist, or a Vampire Sanguimancer. And you just roll one of those D3s to see which one you're fighting for every one that you are fighting. So if we went back there to fight it, we would just roll 1 and see which one we fought. But they have minimum 16 health to our 8. And yeah, they're all minimum level 3. So they're levels 3, 4, and 5. So I don't think we're there yet. However, the moment you would place a 4th collector, it actually becomes a desolate village, and you can't go there anymore. So yeah, hopefully if we add more collectors, we just roll differently and we get them in different locations. Cool. All right, so that was boss turn. We're going to camp this turn. And when we camp, it is a +2 modifier. So we'll put that on there because I totally looked at that last time. And we are going to attempt the dancing trees again. Do I spend energy to lower the test by another 2? So when you camp, you lower all of your stat tests, including the stat test we're going to roll here to see if we find money, but also the stat test for any of the investigations. Let's see here. We would heal health and energy and a critical wound, which we don't have. And it's a -1 bonus. It does stack with itself, so if we fail again, we can just stay here. Let's go ahead and heal. So this, by the way, again, if you haven't watched my previous videos, this is your maximum, and then this is your current. And I usually play that if these are blank, I'm at my maximum. I usually don't write the same number in. I'll probably switch back and forth as I play there. Okay. We're just going to try it again. So we get a -1. So we're looking for a 4 or lower. An 8 again. So I'm glad I'm not paying the energy to lower my stat rolls here, because that still wouldn't have passed. So we failed again. However, there's no circumstance because there was that event. Oh, I didn't roll my stat tests. Sorry. We camped, so we don't have to worry about navigate. We get a -1. So that is a success on the survival, which, again, food rating of 0, so don't really care about. And we did not find money. All right. We are adding 2 to this. Boy, all right. That is another 12, which is just going to be the roll twice again. Okay, a 9. We are going to add another collector. They are going to go on to... Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to give him his blood. I'll do that here in a second. They're going to go on Village 2, which is right up top there. And then we got to roll our second time. This is starting terribly, by the way, in case you were curious. 6, +2 penalty to stat test next game turn. So our -2 is being negated by our +2, which is, great. That's really good. Okay, blood. Normally the blood is marked over here. And you can see here, these are Aegis symbols. We'll get to those once we fight somebody who has Aegis. Instead of doing that, because it can be kind of hard to see these little lines to count, he gets 1 blood. I 3D printed these little life counters. So I'm not sure how easy this is for you to see, but probably easier than that at the very least. And I'll keep you updated. He is at 1 blood. And we'll just keep this over here. All right, that is the end of his turn. And he is now getting 2 blood at the end, or at the beginning of every one of his turns. We're going to camp again. And our -2 from the 2 camps we've done is negated by the last roll we did. So we are now still just looking for a 3 or less. I got a good feeling about this. We're going to spend the 2 energy to use my otherworldly knowledge. And outside of combat, it grants me a -1 bonus to all stat tests for each possessor for the remainder of the game turn. I have 2 possessors, so I am now looking for a 5 or less. Of course, it's a 3, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. So we did it. Oh, I also forgot about this. Sorry, this has a trap on it. So the 2 times I rolled an 8, if it's 7 or higher, I should have lost 4 energy. So I should have lost 8 energy, but then I would have gained 6 back from camping. So I'm down 2 more energy. Let's do a quick fix there for that. There we go. However, we have now successfully gotten that rune. Now, in previous games, when you complete one of these, in the first version of the game, you have to then go to a city to turn them in. In the other versions of the game, you pretty much just get the power up right away. In this one, we don't get the power up right away. This is just going to go to a discard pile that I'll chuck over here. This rune is going to go off the board into the pile of runes. And then on our battle mat here, we are going to mark that we just got ourselves 1 blue rune. Woot. So this is one of the other things I don't like about the game. You get these runes, and then you need to go turn them in at a monastery or a crypt. But both the monasteries and the crypts vastly reward you more for bringing a lot of runes, not 1. So you can go and you can turn 1 in, you'll get a power up. It's just like another extra step. And had we been unlucky and not found any monasteries, we really wouldn't have anything that we can do with that. So to me, it just kind of slows the game up until you turn all your runes in. And then when you turn your runes in, you're a god. So you go from being pretty weak to absolutely amazing like that instead of gradually throughout the game, in my opinion. Again, I still love the game. It was just, that's kind of the main reason with this one. I was just like, okay, there's a dungeon part of it. And if you played the game, you know the dungeon. When you come out of the dungeon and go turn your runes in, I don't care how long you've been playing, you can go fight the boss now. Because when you're in the dungeon, it's a lot easier to get these runes than it is playing the actual game. So yeah, you're going to want to go to the dungeon to become powerful. You can stay out here. You don't have to go to the dungeon. We are going to replace that card. It's just, if you go into the dungeon, there's more opportunities to get runes. And it's just, I don't know. It's, to me, if you want to play the game efficiently and you want to become powerful quickly, you have to do the dungeon. Okay, we found Zabaro's hand cannon here that we will put up there. By the way, I think the numbers are backwards on these. Yeah, this is technically 4, technically. I'm going to treat these as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 in hex, just because, left to right and whatnot. Okay, so we did that. That was our turn. We found that rune. Yay, go us. It is his turn. So there are 2 collectors out, each one collecting 1 blood. So he's going to go from 1 to 3. All right. And then he's going to go ahead and roll. We camped, so it is +2. That is a 12 again. Ooh, boy. All right, that's 2 more rolls. So that is a 3, which turns into a 5. That is a piercing health damage. All right, second roll from the 12. That is a 9. Oh, I'm sorry, no, the 3 doesn't turn into a 5 on these rolls. So the 3 is a +1 stat penalty. And the 9, because you don't use the modifier on the second rolls after you roll a 12. So the 9 is another collector on Village 4, which is up here. Okay. I played this game, again, I think I said this was my 14th play of it. This is, I think, the quickest the collectors have come out. which speeds the game up. I mean, that's your timer, right? Because we don't want that to get to 100. We really don't want it to get high because he is more difficult to fight when he has Aegis. These little shields that are in orange, that's called Aegis. And what that means is you divide that number in half and round up. And you need to have that many gear upgrades in your attack to be able to even attack him. So if he is a 10 Aegis, we have to have 5 gear upgrades in our attack to even be able to do damage to him, unless we take out all of his energy first, and then you can do damage to him. So yeah, you can't do health damage to him, I guess I should have said. And currently, we can't buy gear upgrades, so we would have to stumble into 4 more. Okay, that was his turn. We still don't have a lot to do. I mean, we can go to the monastery, but why? We can go to one of the boss locations and hope to fight boss 1, but again, you roll on a table, there's no guarantee, and I don't think we can fight boss 1 yet. So we are just gonna, I guess, explore some more to try to find maybe F? I mean, that's another navigate check. Our skills are garbage. I mean, I always feel like this at the start of a Hexplore game, that I'm not powerful enough to do anything. And then as you play it, you know, you start to feel more and more powerful. And in this one, it just takes longer for me to feel powerful. And then when you feel powerful, you feel godlike, which is my only issue with it. Okay, well, not my only issue. I think I've said like 3 or 4 things. Do we want to go that way, or do we want to come back down this way? There is a boss fight down here, so I guess we could come back down this way. Also, do we want to travel during the day? Well, there is so if we roll a 2, we have the Cherished Companion up there. That's a familiar, which if you watch my Sands of Shurax play, I used a familiar in that play, but they're introduced in this version of the game. It is a random familiar. So there's a stack of over here, I don't know, maybe 10 of them, and you would just randomly get one of those familiars. Down here, we could potentially get our card, another investigation token on our card. All right, we're just going to do this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's reveal another. I hope this is still on camera. I think it is. Okay, we found our first crypt here. It's tile J. Nothing on J. We're going to go ahead and put the crypt here. Now, the crypts come in locked. So we put that is crypt number 2, though. I'm going to leave that visible. That matters when you go into the dungeon. If we enter through Crypt 2, the dungeon tiles, you have to go find a Crypt 2 dungeon tile. There's 2 tiles for all 4 crypts, I believe. And then if you find, while you're in the dungeon, if you find a tile that has the 4 on it, well, you can leave through that 4, and then you got to go find it, and you can put it wherever you want. So it's kind of a neat way to almost teleport across the map when you go in and out of the dungeon. But you do have to get into it first and then explore around in the dungeon. Okay, so where were we? I think that was only 3. I think I have 1 movement left. I forgot because I forgot. So let's go ahead and just go here. Cool. All right, do our stat test. Passed everything except, no, I have a penalty. Still past navigate, which is really all that matters at this point. I have the +1 penalty from the last villain phase. Speaking of villain phases, we're not there yet because we have a circumstance. So we moved during the day, which I don't know if I actually decided if that's what I wanted to do. No, we're gonna say we moved during the night. I'm gonna try to get some more on here. So hoping for a 1. Got a 2. Okay, so we've got a hidden crypt. You search in this dead forest. Wait. Yep, your search, got it, in this dead forest has proven fruitful. You've come to an ancient crypt entrance. The stone markings resemble others found in the area and likely lead down into the dungeon. Locate and place 1 hidden crypt token in this hex. Okay. Whoops. So it's, I mean, it's like they started working on a entrance to the crypt, and then they didn't like it, so they just moved it. Very close. This crypt counts as an unlocked crypt for monasteries, and you may activate runes here. Cool. That's really neat. Cool. Then draw and place a random dungeon tile and place the second hidden crypt token on its center hex. Okay, you may enter and exit the dungeon from these locations. We found our way into the dungeon, folks. That's what that means. However, it's not a good time to go into the dungeon. What we're going to do, these are our dungeon tiles. I am not going to set up the dungeon board yet because the dungeon board can be this size. So we're just going to shuffle these up. We're going to pick one, and I'm just going to set it to the side for now. When I do decide to go into the dungeon, I think I'm going to cut the camera and probably put something on top of this, because when you go into the dungeon, you basically stop playing Hexplore It and you start playing Hexplore It into the dungeon. So we won't actually need this board anymore. Oh boy, I'm doing so good shuffling. I know, I'm also pretty impressed. Okay, so we're just going to grab one. Here we go. So these are dungeon tiles. I'm just going to put it there. It probably blends in, so apologies for that. And again, this says it goes on the middle like that, which means this is now an entrance. This goes to here and vice versa. But this will form its own map when we go into the dungeon. I'm just going to set this to the side for now because we're not ready to go in there. You really want your navigate and your explorer to be higher, because every turn in the dungeon, you get time. And every move you make takes a time, and the cards that you draw in the dungeon take time. So if you have higher explore and navigate, those two numbers combined is how much you have. So for instance, we'd be going in with 6. Well, if we moved 6 spots in the dungeon, that's it, our turn's over. The villain phase still happens while you're in there. Nothing else happens. Like there's no circumstance phase or anything while you're in there, but the villain still gets a turn. So you really want a lot of movement so you can do a bunch of stuff when he's only getting 1 roll of the die. Well, in my case, 2 every turn because I keep rolling 12s. So this, again, for the time being, I'm just going to sit over here. It may or may not be off camera. I'm not sure. But again, we don't need that yet. Cool. Okay, so that was there. Let's go ahead and replace that with the night deck that I set to the side. Okay, well, a waterfall of transformation goes in spot number 2. So another discovery tile, potentially. Okay. We moved normally, so there is no modifier to the roll this time. That is a 3, which I believe is that the stat test one? You'd think I'd know by now, except I keep rolling 12s. Yeah, a +1 penalty to stat tests next turn. So now. Also, I did forget, and I might forget this throughout the game too, but he gets 3 blood, so he is up to 6. 3 blood a turn is a lot, but we're not physically or mentally prepared to go fight a collector yet. Okay, so we're just going to move. We're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to grab another tile. Okay, we found Crypt 3, and we found tile E, which we need to find tile F, basically, is what we're looking for. We have 2 things to do on F, including a monster fight, which I don't know, probably won't be able to do that yet, but we'll just place that like normal. All right, that was 2 movement, so we're going to go 3, 4. This crypt is also locked, though, so let me grab another locked. There we go. We also kind of want to stop searching on this side, because if we find all the crypts over here, we can't go into the dungeon and then like teleport to this side, which is kind of one of the neat things. So we found crypts 2 and 3. And we found a way to get in. We don't even have to unlock the crypts because we found an unlocked old crypt there, which is cool. But we aren't powerful enough yet to get in there. Okay. Oh, there it is. I was looking for this. You may activate wounds here. Yeah. Cool. I'm just going to set that to the side. Okay, we moved. Now we need to do our stat tests, which have a +1. So we're looking for 2s or lower for all of these. We, of course, failed them all. So we do now need to wander 1 space up, which again is because of this chart that is on the board, which normally would be visible. Again, oh boy. Okay, we moved normally. So this is just a straight roll. Nope, I'm sorry. We have a circumstance. We did move at night, which I think we wanted to move at night. That's something I always forget too, is remember that if you're gonna, you have to say if you're moving at night or daytime. I think we wanted to continue to move at night to try to get more on there. 2 again. So the waterfall of transformation. A majestic waterfall lies ahead. Misty water moves on a light breeze. The roar of it is soothing. Place the waterfall token on an adjacent non-event hex. Each turn while on this hex, each hero may move up to 6 of their gear upgrades from one stat to any other of their stats. Gold costs are ignored. Then fuse the gear upgrades of one of your stats. I forgot fuse was a thing. I don't remember what fuse is. I think you can take the 6 stats that are around it and you can kind of condense them, I think. Oh, it has to go adjacent. I guess right there's fine. It's right at the end of the river, so that's like thematic. Oh, that's mountains. We can't go down. We'll have to come this way. Okay. So each turn while on this hex, so we currently can't do it. You can move 6. Now we only have 6 gear upgrades. It's what we started the game with. So we, in theory, could put all of them on one stat if I wanted to. And like energy wouldn't be a terrible choice because my energy would then go to 15 and I would get another possessor, which might be good because considering how poorly we're rolling stat test and we have no real way to increase our stats, that would allow me to do this otherworldly knowledge and give me a -3 on stat tests. All right, this one we're going to try to keep handy here to remember what that does. So I'm just going to tuck it up there, relatively close to where it is. Real quick, too, let's see if the index has fuse in here. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say no. Hey, it does. Cool. Should be able to quickly look up what fuse does. Sometimes a game effect will fuse a gear upgrade to your hero. When this occurs, erase the appropriate filled in slots, but keep the rank bonus. This allows you to purchase more gear upgrades. So yeah, we could put all 6 of those in energy and then fuse it, which is effectively erasing the outside ring, allowing us to do 6 more in energy. Which, I mean, may not be a terrible idea, except our navigate and our explore would both go down. So, I mean, we don't have to do that. I could do 4. But that 4 would only bring it up to a 13. For the time being, we're not going to worry about it. I mean, we're not on the spot anyway, so we technically can't do it. So, not technically, we can't do it because of rules of the game. All right, we do need to replace that. Oh boy, a vampire hunter. Now this one is an interrupt. This is new with this version of the game as well. Any one of these that says interrupt, you do it immediately when it comes out here. So, Isabella Argul, a member of the old regime, joins the group. Bring her to within 1 hex of Mirza Noctis' castle to complete this investigation. Okay. Well, I mean, how many do we have left in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. I think there's only 5 of these left. So, yeah. Ideally, I mean, not just for the camera purposes, ideally I do want to come over here and reveal some. So I might do 1 more over here and then head that way. Okay. But she has joined us. When she arrives there, reduce the blood pool by 6 for each clue. So I think it still goes out, which again, this is weird. You play it immediately, but it still stays out. And this person now, we just have to remember that Isabella is with us. She has 16 health, which is more than us. She has 6 attack, which is more than us. So we can still put in investigation markers on her. When she arrives at the castle or adjacent to the castle, we can reduce the blood pool by 6 for every investigation token that is on there. Now you'll also be adding investigation tokens during your skill roll. If you hex, you can put investigation tokens out as well. So it's not all completely random. Well, that's still random, I guess, but there are other ways to put them out there. Upon completion, you reduce the blood pool by 10. So again, at least by 10, but if we have 3 investigation on there, 28 total. You gain 1 blood magic tier, which we haven't talked about blood magic yet, but I usually avoid it except for there was a valor point if you had, I think, 8. So I didn't avoid them that game. I sought them out that game. If you intend to engage Noctis the turn after completing this card, Isabella remains an ally, otherwise she departs. So if we save that basically until we're about to fight him, we'll have her. She attacks 6 every round, which isn't great. She has 16 health, which isn't great. But it's somebody else to do a little damage. So for the time being, we just have that sitting out there. Cool. We moved normally, and it is his turn now. Oh, I already forgot to give blood. That is a 10. But he'll get his 3. He is up to 9 blood. So 9% of the way there. Just in case you're terrible at math, I guess. I don't know why I said that out loud. And let's see. A 10 is another collector. So let's see here. That is 4, which is already out. Is that this one? Nope, that's 2. That's 4. Okay, so there are now 2 collectors in Village 4. Great. Great. Okay, well, let's keep going. So, 1, 2. We found tile I, which again, we don't need. You know what? What does boss 1 look like? It's probably a terrible idea to fight boss 1. That's boss 2. There's 2 boss 2s. There we go. The Dark Fae. So the Dark Fae, if we're thinking about fighting boss 1, which I am, because I got to do something to try to get some power ups here. I haven't even mentioned. I'm not sure what difficulty I'm playing on here. I normally start on easy. And considering how it's going, I will probably just start on easy. So there's no modifiers or anything like that. All right, so they have an Outlast that they have 20 health. Let's see, we would get 2 power-ups, we'd get some money. Oh, we would get a familiar, neat. And they're on a 4 to 10, we would actually fight them. Their magical nature. For the Sapphire Golem, the race that I chose, I got to choose a favorite opponent, and it just kind of made sense that spirits would like killing humans, so I went with humanoids. So we wouldn't get favorite opponent die on these guys. Oh man, and how much damage am I doing? So my first ability here, my spiritual synergy. So I'm going to perform an action of your choice from each possessor. So from each one of these cards, I can choose one of their 3 actions and decide which one to do. Now, if it spends energy, they use my energy. So probably won't be spending a lot of energy with them because I'm down to 6 and I have to use my own energy as well. They don't technically enter combat and they don't suffer damage. So I don't have to worry about these guys dying, but if they spend energy, they're using mine. At rank 5, don't have to worry about that yet, but at rank 5, if I use their attack action, I can convert all the damage they do to heal energy. So that gets me the energy back that I could continue to, a nice little chain there to be able to continue to use their energy abilities. The number of targets does not change. So if it says single target, or if it says group or whatever, you use what it says, which is neat. And if it is not a group action, you may choose the targets. So as long as it's not group, you can choose. Otherwise, it's everybody. And then you can boost the numeric effect of the heal by half trance, which is my defend rank, instead of half spiritual synergy rank. In this case, they're both the same. So that's my first ability. My second ability, Otherworldly Knowledge. This is the one that I've already used outside of combat, which can lower my stat test for the game turn by however many possessors I have. In combat, at rank 7, your allies also gained this bonus, but I don't have any allies. So during combat, I can perform an action of my choice for each possessor and boost the numeric effects by half Otherworldly Knowledge rank, so currently 2. When it hits rank 6, 2 targets also heal health equal to half Phantom Guide rank, which is my attack, so currently 1. So the heal is either 1, or I can heal energy. So that's kind of why I was relatively happy with the medium, because they do have a way to heal both health and energy. It's just currently, it's a very small amount of health and energy. So that's what I'm working with, and I'm trying to figure out if I think I have enough to actually take these guys out. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, I don't. But genuinely, I'm to the point where I don't know what else to do. This might be a loss on Hexplore. Okay. So I've moved 2. Let's just move 2 more this way. If we decide to do a boss fight, we have plenty of options to hit them while we're going in a different direction. The collectors as well. The one does critical health. The one does corrosive health, so you can't heal it. The one does 7 damage, which would almost kill me. So it's not looking great currently. And I don't really want to just go dive into the dungeon. Even in the dungeon, you can take some damage and you can die in the dungeon. I mean, it's a dungeon, so it makes sense, right? Okay, for right now, that's what we're going to do. So let's do our stat tests here. Oh, cool. All right. Well, we passed navigate, so we are there, and we failed the other ones. So, but again, just means we don't find money, and we don't eat anyway, so that's fine. Okay, we moved normally, so there is no modifier on the D12 roll. That is an 8. I don't know if we've had 8 yet. What did I do with my paper, the placard? There we go. 8. Single hero, 1 critical health damage. Okay, so when you get 1 critical health damage, you take the 1 damage. So I'm going to be down to 8. But you also take a critical cube and you put it in your critical wounds. And again, as a reminder, or if you skipped the intro, if I get 3 of those, 3 plus your food rating of 0, I'm dead. Now you're supposed to start the game with a keepsake. There are special cards they added for this version of the game. And it gives you a chance, basically, when you die to kind of come back to life and still be able to do things and help. In true solo, I don't really think that it would do anything. It's more kind of just to like kind of help you until they can revive you kind of thing. Also, I think they're dumb. I don't like them. It's random as to whether or not it actually is going to work for you. So I don't play with them. Sorry. Again, there are things in here. They took some swings with this one. And at least in my opinion, they missed on a few of them. That one, it's not like that breaks the game or anything like that. It's just another little added little thing that I treat as modular, and I just don't do it. Okay, so I forgot to add his blood. So up to 12. Up to 12 blood on my little clicky device there. So far, clicking that has been more fun than this game. We need to find something to do. Okay, we do have a monastery open. Because it did say that our crypt up there did count. That's the wrong one. Did count as an open monastery, which means we can buy up to 2 gear upgrades to the second slab. We have $2 though, so can we? You can also buy familiars, which familiars can be pretty neat. Tell you what we're going to do is we are going to switch. We're going to move during the daytime. I think I'm now going to try to get that, or we're going to hope to roll a 2 during the circumstance phase, because that cherished companion, depending on what companion you get, there's a chance that could help us. For instance, in my Sands of Shurax play, I used the living sword, and it did a good amount of the damage I did throughout that game because I was a little low on damage. So if I can get that or something else that actually does damage, I might feel more comfortable doing a boss fight or a collector fight. Probably a boss fight. At this point, I think the collectors are more difficult than boss 1. So, okay, let's go ahead. Man, I don't know what to do. We're just going to head this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to roll our skills. All right. Hey, we got a hex. That's fun. And then a 9 and a 10. So we didn't find money. We also failed our... That is a 9, right? Yeah. We also failed our navigate. So let's do the failed navigate first. That is a 2, which is hex 1, 2, which is right there. Also, to fight the collectors, you can't just go in there and fight them. You have to pass an explore check to locate them. My explore is 3. So even if I wanted to fight the collectors, the way these guys are rolling for me, I wouldn't. So Okay, and then we did hex our survival. And hexing survival means something different in this one. Well, I guess in addition to. If you critically succeed your survival, which is what hexing is, you do not have to consume food, which we don't have to anyway, and you get to choose one of the following. Okay, gain 1 food, each hero heals 1 lost energy, or each hero removes a critical wound. That's what you get to do if you crit your survival. I should probably get rid of the critical wound, but yeah, that's the smart move, I think. It's only 1 of 3, but that's not the way that I want to go out, critically. All right. He's going to get... last time I only gave him 3 blood. He should have had 4. So he's at 13, and then he's going to get 4 more. He's at 17. This is bad. I think we are witnessing a loss in Hexplore, which makes me sad. So let's go ahead and keep on keeping on, I guess. Oh, no, we have to do a circumstance. I already did the blood, so I'll have to remember that. But let's do a circumstance. It is daytime. Roll to 1, which is the Cardinal Coven. So we will go ahead and put a clue on there. Okay. I now added the blood, which I already did, and then let's do his roll. That's a 10, which is another collector. On Village 5, which is kind of where we're heading. Over there. Okay. I mean, or do I just go back into the dungeon? No. No. Vitals aren't high enough for the dungeon. Navigate and explore aren't high enough for the dungeon. Yikes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot she's with me. She can help me fight. We're going to go there instead, and we're going to attempt a boss fight. This might end up in death. Oh, well. And instead of, when I crit survival, instead of getting rid of the critical wound that way, I'm going to take one of these sovereign elixirs. And instead, I am going to make this a 7, because we are about to get into a fight. Probably not the best idea, but it's about to happen. Capping. Okay, so we want to fight Boss 1. Boss 1 is the Dark Fae. That's who we are attempting to fight here. This is one of the boss spots that has the die on it. So, oh, I'm sorry. First, we have to see if we're even there. We moved there. We're not there. Okay? Oh, boy. This is going terribly. That is a 3, which means we are there. Okay? So now we have a circumstance, which is circumstance 4. It is still daytime. So that is Zabaro's hand cannon. Okay, that sounds promising. Zabaro's hand cannon. This unique contraption spits fire and shrapnel made of silver. It resembles the other revolving pistols that have slowly made their way into the realm, but this one is exquisitely fashioned. You may use this item once every 3 rounds in combat along with an attack or defend action. Roll the moon die twice. Each die hexplodes on a result of a hex or a 12. Deal health damage to your opponent equal to the result. This damage ignores an opponent's Aegis value. Okay. Neat. So yeah, we can use that in the boss fight we're about to go through. So you can use it once every 3 rounds in combat. So that's just going to be probably round 1. Hope we don't die. And then in round 2, we can do some other stuff. Cool. New circumstance to replace that one. Hey! All right. G, do we have tile G out? No. Okay. Can't do that either. I think tile G, is Mirza Noctis' tile, I think. So that's fun. All right, villain phase. He is going to get 5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is at 22 blood. And then he is going to probably get another collector. No, 6. +2 stat test to our stat test next game turn, which is cool because we're going to move cautiously. And in moving cautiously, we have to remember that that is a +1 to our villain phase moon die roll. Cool. All right. We don't need to worry about navigate now. We really don't need to worry about just in case we hex it, I guess. Yeah, those are both fails. So we didn't find anything. We now have the boss fight. Okay, so we roll the moon die, and we are hoping to find a 4 to 10 to fight the Dark Fae. That is a 3. So instead, we are fighting the Hellhound. Okay, the Hellhound is another level 1. That's the good news. He's Aegis, which would be bad, but luckily at the beginning of the game, we did do an upgrade of 1 to our attack, which means we can attack this guy, because otherwise we would not be able to attack him until we took his energy down. Okay, cool. And if we beat him, we do get the Hellfire Pup Familiar, which, if I recall, that Hellfire Pup, it's basically this guy. He can give burning to people, so that will also be helpful in future fights. Not that we have a lot of stuff to fight currently. I mean, it's just, we're doing great. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our first fight. I don't know how long in the game we are, so, oh, it's not, there it is. Okay. We are, again, playing on easy mode, and on easy mode, there's no modifiers to his stats. So he's got 22 health, 20 energy. He is he's an ascendant is his thing. So we don't have, our favorite opponent is humanoid. So we don't have anything for him. He has a passive ability. Heroes deal 1 less damage and defend as if their rank was 1 lower for each instance of burned they have. So currently we don't have any, but I mean, spoilers, I guess. Sounds like he's going to be giving us burned. Okay. So we do have this vampire hunter with us. She is going to attack for 6. Cool. Should we use the hand cannon? I mean, I feel like the answer is why not, other than we can't defend or anything with it. We will spend an energy to defend at half rank. So we'll defend 2, and then we'll use our hand cannon. You may use this item once every 3 rounds. So I assume because it's an item, defending lets us use it, so I think we can also use another ability. Because that's what using an item is, just from the wording on this die. So the other ability we're going to use is going to be our spiritual energy, which is another energy. I'm sorry, spiritual synergy, which is another energy. So this is the one that each possessor is going to do something, and we're going to boost whatever their numerical value is by half of spiritual synergy, so 2. All right, so we are going to have the haunting. What does reinforce mean? See here? Hopefully it's right on the back here. Reinforce effects are only applied if the group consists of 4 or more heroes. Okay, don't have to worry about that. Okay, so the haunting is going to just do their basic attack, which is a dual target. There is only 1 target. It's a dual target attack for 2. We're going to add 2, so they are going to do 4 damage. The creeping shade can do 4 energy. Yeah, that's kind of what they do. So, I mean, they'll just do 6 energy, I guess. It's not super exciting for us, but that's okay. Okay, and then what else they need to do here? It's not rank 5 yet, so they're not doing any type of energy heal. Then our hand cannon is also going to go off, which the hand cannon says, roll the moon die twice. Each die hexplodes on a 1 or a 12, or I'm sorry, a hex or a 12. Hex is 1. And deal damage to your opponent equal to the result. This damage ignores their Aegis. So, I'm going to roll it twice. First one is a 12, so that's going to hexplode into a 2. So that is 14. Second one is 5 more. So that is 19 from the hand cannon. So we can kill this thing and, hope we survive and whatnot. Okay, so let's see what the Hellhound does. That hand cannon this early is very clutch. It almost just killed it itself in 1 shot. So the Hellhound is doing number 3. Group, 3 health, and explore. So let's try and explore. Hey, shockingly, we failed. So we become burned. It is also doing 3 health damage. I did defend for 2, so I will take 1 health damage. There we go. And then I am now burned. I don't know if burned is persistent, though. It does not. So as soon as the fight's over, burn's going to go away. And burn would do damage to us at the beginning of the fight. But we're done. Or the beginning of the round. We did it. We won a fight. Yay. I know. I'm also excited. So that did a few things for us. We have to remember we have the hunter's gear. And we just killed something. So both of these numbers are going to go up by 2. So 9 and 7. Which blank will we'll live. We'll put it in there. Cool. We are then going to also cover up this spot because we have defeated the boss that is there. Like so. And then we're going to get our rewards. So we get a crypt key. So we can go unlock any of the crypts that we have over there. Again, we already have one that's unlocked because of that card, which was neat. But I'm going to mark we have 1 crypt key. We get 8 gold, which, yeah, it's 4 times the amount of gold I've gotten the whole rest of the game. We get 3 food, which we'll mark. We don't actually need it, but we might as well mark it. We get plus 3 health, and that is both. So 12 and 12. And we get the Hellhound familiar, or the Hellhound pup familiar, as well as 2 power-ups. So what are we, 12 hours into the game and we're getting our first power-ups? Neat. All right, let's see what we get. Oh boy. This one's damned. That's fun. And then 4 health. Keep this card after gaining its rank bonus. You may discard it to remove 2 critical wounds. Okay. So our health is now a staggering 16. We still have 3 on all of our skills, but our health is good. And then we will keep that for the whole critical wound thing. And then damned. Voices are speaking to you in whispered tones. They promise you power, that it rises inside you, waiting to be unleashed. You are Legion, now one of the damned. Keep this card when you gain it, and gain the stat bonus below. At the end of a game turn in which you've activated runes in a crypt, gain the damned greater aspect. Only 1 hero may gain the aspect reward if this was a group power-up. Remove this card from the game afterward. So we get +1 to all of our abilities currently. But if we turn runes in a crypt, we become damned. And a greater aspect, aspects were introduced in previous versions of the game. It's another card kind of like a race. It gives you more abilities and more modifiers. And the greater ones are specific to cards like this in the game, which is kind of neat. So both of those are just keep them. Okay, so we have a 4 and then 3 5s. Neat. All right, we did that. And let's get our Hellhound pup familiars. These are the familiars. Like I said, I guess there's more than 10. They're thin, thinner than I thought. So these are all the options for familiars. A lot of them you will get this way in fights. There are a few that you can just purchase. There's, of course, that Cherished Companion card that we've kind of been trying to get. That one will get you a random one. There are events that get you some. So it's kind of neat. For instance, the Fey Touch, the Fey Dragon. Had we actually fought the first boss we wanted to fight, I think we would have gotten this one. I believe that was one of the rewards. What am I looking for? Yeah, Hellhound Pup. Now, how the familiars work, they're pretty neat. This was one of the things they added in this version that I really like. I played a game with these once. For some reason, it wasn't a Valor Point. It really should have been. They should have just called it the Pokemon Valor Point. I played a game where I just tried to get as many as I could. I think I had like 8 of them, and that was a lot. It was a lot to look at. I forgot what they were all doing. Okay, so how these guys work, usually they are always tied to one of your stats. In this particular case, we get to pick which one. It's either first or second mastery. So what they're going to do is when they come in, its beginning rank is equal to 1 plus 1/3 of whatever mastery I choose. So in this case, it's going to be 2, because I believe you round that. Well, actually, that would be rounding up. Yeah, this has started so poorly. I'm just going to round up. So they're going to be 3, and I'm going to choose first mastery. So I've marked that on here. What that means is anytime I get a power-up that has first mastery on it, I can actually give it to the Hellhound Pup and level them up instead. You can also buy upgrades for them. It costs 5, 7, and 9. You can only buy 3 upgrades for them. Here's what it does. Each time you gain a condition in combat, your opponent becomes burned. Instead of the normal burn damage, which is it 3, I think? I might be thinking of burning. No, it's 3. So burn targets lose 3 health at the beginning of the declaration phase of each round, and they heal 3 less health each time their health is healed. The healing reduction stacks, but the health damage does not. So if they're burned 3, they still only take 3 damage, but they heal 9 less, which is cool. Okay, so instead of the normal burn damage, the damage suffered is equal to Fiery Temper rank, which is presumably the name. Oh, yeah. Of their ability. So currently 3. This effect stacks with itself. At rank 8, once per game turn, you can spend 2 energy to activate Fiery Temper without gaining a condition. So basically, the higher this gets, I can spend 2 energy at rank 8, or otherwise, whenever I gain a condition, this guy is going to give whatever I'm fighting burned, and they're going to take whatever that number is, damage at the start of every round. So pretty cool. If I can get that number, quite a bit higher, and then I can just spend 2 energy once it's rank 8, and boom, now they're taking 8 damage, and I can just sit back and defend if I want to. So another way to, I know it's a Hellhound Pup, but it's kind of a way to turtle, is if you can just get this thing going. I'm going to move my little critical wound thing. We'll put it on top of my medium. Crushed it. Okay. So, cool. Okay. We got our Hellhound Pup. We got our power-ups. We got our money. We got our gold. We got our crypt key. We got our health. Cool. All right. So it is the turn of Mirza Noctis. Going to be 5 more blood. Up to 27. You'll notice we still have 1 rune, by the way. That's it. We have the 1 rune. And we can turn that in for a power-up currently. Now, when you turn runes in, there also are ways to lower the blood amount. I forget which is which, but Monastery and Crypt, one of them lowers it at the end of the game right before you fight him. So it kind of lowers his blood right before, the fight happens. The other one lowers it now so that the 27 might drop down to 0 and then they just start fresh or whatever. Either way, lowering the blood is good because he won't be as powerful when you fight him. But currently, we're not even remotely powerful, so. I also just realized when I made all those attempts at my first investigation, I could have rolled 2 dice. Not that it would have mattered, but. Okay. Oh, we got to roll die for him. That is a cocked 4, but let's see. 2. And we are adding 1 because we moved cautiously, right? Yep. Okay, and a 3 then is a +1 to our stat test this turn coming up right here. Okay, so we do have Meat Hook and the Cardinal Coven are the 2 bosses we have out that are actually on the board. What does that clue do? Each clue raises the group's vitality by 2 at the beginning of combat. Additionally, if you have 3 clues, you ambush the Cardinal Coven. Yeah. The Cardinal Coven, though, is a level 5 boss, and you're technically fighting 6 people at the same time. They have 6 health values. You treat each one as a different target. They only roll 1 opponent action, which is good. Favorite opponent damage is applied to only 1. They are humanoids, so I would have favorite opponent damage. Passive, each time a member of the Coven is vanquished, you strengthen their damage by 2 starting next round. So that's a problem. When you get to the 6th and final one, they're doing +10 damage. Which, I'm at 16 health, but that's enough to probably take me out. Pretty good. So I don't think we want to fight the Cardinal Coven yet. Let's see. Meat Hook. Where are you at, Meat Hook? Meat Hook is a level 6 boss. 70 health. Yeah. Yeah. He always acts twice. Roll 2 action dice each round and resolve both. So yeah, we're definitely not ready for him either. Maybe we just try to fight the Dark Fae again. I mean, we could attempt that, I guess. We have our Hellhound pup now. We still have the hand cannon. So that could do some damage. Okay, let's go ahead and... yeah, I still want to work my way this way. So I think we're going to come up here. 1, 2, and 3. I mean, most likely we're not there. We need a 2 or less because of the last roll for Mirza Noctis on our navigate. Yeah, that's not a 2 or less. Those are all fails. Cool. So we are going to go 5, which is there. Because we're there, we need a circumstance now. It is daytime. We're hoping for a 2 here. I think I still want another companion. I think that'd be cool. We got a hex, which means we have a fight. So, yeah, I know how to pronounce that. Sahuagin? Sahuagin? Sahuagin. So, I don't know what that means or how to pronounce that, but that's what we're fighting. It is a monstrous humanoid, which is different than humanoid. So, we don't have favorite opponent. Has 11 health. Has 5 energy. It is daytime. So it does have a special rule down here for daytime. Hated heroes suffer 1 additional damage from attacks. Yep, totally know what hated means. Opponents with hatred are more likely to target and deal more damage to heroes of a specific type. Heroes of the specified type suffer a +2 penalty to their target die against. Okay, who does he hate? Oh, okay, he can gain it. Hatred, healer, which we are not, and assist, which we are not. We are playing a utility character. Okay, so it depends on what he rolls. Neat. All right, well, we're definitely going to use the hand cannon. So to do that, we need to defend. I think I'm just going to defend. So that's going to be a defend of 5 for me, and then we're going to use the hand cannon. So let's see here. Oh, and the pup. Well, the pup doesn't do anything unless... I mean, I could spend 2 energy. I don't think we need to. Hopefully we just get good rolls on the hand cannon. Okay, 5 and 12. So that's 17 plus that explodes. Okay, 24 from the hand cannon. That thing is clutch. I don't remember getting that before. Let's see what he is going to do. He rolls a 4. So that is 4 energy damage, which I am blocking 5, so we're good there. Each hero rolls a core die. 9. The Sahuagin gains hatred against the roll type of the heroes with the highest results for the remainder of combat. Okay, so he hates me, but he's dead, so I win. That is 2 gold. And 4 food, which I can only carry 5 because my initial rating was 0. So we have 5 food. We don't need 5 food, but we have 5 food. And because we won that combat, we do have our hunter's gear. So we are going to get back 2 health that we don't need and 2 energy that we do. All right. End of the round. End of the turn. 5 more blood. Puts Noctis up to 32. Oh, I also forgot that Vampire Huntress. She technically also would have lost. It was energy, but she doesn't have any energy, so she's fine. And then another roll. That is a 2. We move normally, so there is no... That, a 2. 1 piercing energy drain. Okay. If you're new to the game, energy drain means if you're at 0 energy and you take energy drain, it hits your health. If you just take energy damage, nothing would happen because you're already at 0, but energy drain seeps in and hits your health. Cool. Okay, well, we're going to move cautiously, and we're going to attempt to do another boss fight. Okay. Moving cautiously is a +1. Bring that back. We don't need to worry about our navigate. We basically just need to know, yeah, effectively we just need to know this one. Hey, we hexed it. I guess we'll roll this one too because 2 hexes is something cool. No. Okay, so we hexed our Explorer. So you still get the 2 gold. But you also get something else, I think. You can heal 1 lost health, or you can place a clue on an open investigation of your choice. We're going to do that. I'm going to put another clue here on my on the special one for my character. Cool. Okay, we are now going to fight potentially the Dark Fae is who we're going to attempt. That's the other level 1. We're going to start with the level 1s. Seems like the right thing to do. However, we have to see if we're actually fighting the level 1s. So on a 4 through 10, hey, it's a 4. We are fighting the Dark Fae. So that's who we're going after here. Cool. So they have 20 health and 25 energy. All right, passive ability. They have a number of illusions equal to her Outlast. So the Outlast is going to start at 3, which we'll put in here. Her Outlast does not automatically decrease at the end of the round. Whenever the Dark Fae suffers damage, roll the Moon die. If the result is equal to or lower than her illusions, she negates the damage, and her Outlast and illusions is reduced by 1. Heroes who target her Outlast resolve their action before other allies and opponents. The Dark Fae is not vanquished if her Outlast reaches 0. What? Number of illusions equal to her Outlast. Okay, so 3. Outlast does not automatically decrease at the end of the round. Okay. Whenever the Dark Fae suffers damage, roll the Moon die. If the result is equal to or lower than her illusions, she negates the damage, and her Outlast is reduced by 1. Okay, so you might hit the wrong thing. Got it. Cool. I mean, I think we're still just going to hand cannon. So we have 6 damage coming from the Vampire Hunter. But let's just roll it now to see if that actually goes through. 3. Roll it. If the result is equal to or lower than her illusions, she has 3. So she negates the damage. So that 6 will not happen. Okay. I am then going to defend, and we're going to use the hand cannon for 4 plus 7. So 11, and 11 is going to be higher than 3. So she is going to take 11 damage from the hand cannon, and I can't use that again for 3 rounds. Okay? I am just defending, so let's see what they're doing. 1. All right, single target, 4 health. This attack gains piercing equal to the number of illusions that she has. Okay, we technically have 2 targets. The Vampire Hunter is a target, so I'm going to roll yellow for me, blue for the Vampire Hunter. Boom, it is me. So she is hitting me for 4 damage, 3 of which is piercing. I defended 5, so I will take the 3 piercing. She is down to 9. And I can't hand cannon, so I guess we're going to have to actually fight, I guess. So let's see, what do I want to do? Could just spend 2 energy and burn her, and I would win in 3 rounds. No. Okay. Let's go ahead and... All right, this mastery can be used outside of combat. No, thank you. Perform an action of your choice for each possessor and boost their values by half of the worldly at rank 6. Yeah, no. This one does something at rank 5, I think. My spiritual synergy. At rank 5, when you use this attack, the possessor's attack action, you may convert all damage it deals to heal energy. Yeah, I don't need to do that. All right, we're going to do spiritual synergy. It costs 1. Okay. And then these guys are each going to get an attack, or to do something. And it's going to get boosted by 2. So we're going to get 4 damage from the Haunting. What'd she do? 1. And then this guy, he just does energy damage, which is a disappointment. Yeah, he'll do 6 energy damage. Cool. Okay. Let's see what they're going to do. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if the 9 damage, or the 4 damage goes through. Yes, it does. Okay, 4. This is going to cost her 5 energy. Negate any healing or boost effects a hero would receive by any ally this round. Joke's on you, I don't have allies. These guys are not allies, they're technically, possessors, I think it's called. The Dark Fae heals health equal to the amount of healing negated this round. If nothing was negated this round, increase her Outlast by the number of heroes. Okay, so her Outlast goes to 4. Cool. She, though, is down to 5, which I unfortunately can't kill her in one hit with a 5, which is just terrific. I can't do 5 damage in one hit. All right, well, I'm not going to spend the energy, I don't think, for the... Yeah, I'm just going to do 4 damage myself, because I can. Triple survival, reflect 2 against target who fail. Yeah, I don't know how that works when they don't have the ability. So let's see. 4 or less, and she negates it. That's a 2. So she negates my 4, and she swings back. Single target. Yellow is me. 4 and a 9. So she is going to swing at the vampire hunter for 4. So the hunter is down to 12. Cool. All right. But I effectively did nothing. That's fun. We're gonna try it again. So we're just gonna do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna swing for 4. That's a 9, so it will go through. That is a 2, which is probably a defend. Increase the Dark Fae's Outlast by 3. Then she defends equal to the number of illusions she has. So yeah, her Outlast is now 7. And she defends 7 against my 4. So she's still fine. I will again swing for 4. Let's see if it goes through. It now needs to be a 9, which is good. That's higher than 7. And she's going to defend again. Increase the Dark Fae's Outlast by 3. Outlast is now up to 10. Okay, so now I got to start doing the Outlast. This is going to turn into a long fight for really no reason. Okay. We will Outlast for... all of my stats are garbage. We're going to Outlast for... you know what? No. Let's just... Oh, I kept forgetting the Huntress could attack. The Huntress should have done 6 all those rounds. So yeah, she's dead. I gotta remember, I took damage for the Huntress, but forgot that the Huntress is attacking for 6 every round. And in the early rounds, she did not block. All right, our rewards for the Dark Fae. Well, first, let's remember to cover up. There. Okay, because we did the boss there. All right, we're going to get 5 gold. We are going to get 6 food, which I can't take. We're going to get 3 energy. We also killed somebody, so the energy goes up by 2. So I will be at 12 of 13. And my health will also go up to 2 because of our hunter's gear. We get the Fey Dragon familiar, which is right here. We'll have to look at them here in a second. We get a hex tile reveal, which is his hex tile. So we can go fight him. I totally think we're ready for that. Oh boy. No, we're gonna put it up here. There we go. And we get 2 power-ups. Okay, there is also another way to get a familiar, and we just drew it. So choose one of the options below. I can draw and gain a random familiar. One familiar in play gains 1 rank. You may move up to 3 matching stat ranks from your hero to your familiar. Those are our options with that one. This one, and this is another reason you have this die, because this one's giving me +2 attack and +2 defense, but it's also giving me a +1 modifier for my next roll. So the +1 is now a +2. And again, that part for me just gets a little fiddly when you're getting, when you're turning in power-ups from after you leave the dungeon, you're going to be getting double-digit power-ups, and then you just got to figure out. Sometimes it gets to the point where it's like, all right, well, it's a +12, so I don't even have to roll now because it's going to be 12 or higher. So it's just, yeah, it's weird. So 6 and 7. 6 and 7, which apparently is something kids say these days. So you're welcome. I don't know. All right, and then let's see. Before we decide on our familiar power-up, let's see what the Fey Dragon does. So this one, it says lowest stat when gained. Our lowest stat is any of our skills. They're all at 3. So I don't think it super matters which one we take. I am going to choose survival. All right, their ability is called Fey Touched. It is a rank 2. Once per game turn, when you or an ally heals a target's health, that target also removes 1 critical wound or gains regen 1 health for the next 2 rounds. At rank 3 and every 3 ranks after, increase this regen by 1. At rank 7, any healing that exceeds the target's health is halved and converted to energy. At rank 10, this ability may be used up to 3 times per game turn. So we're at 2 familiars already. I kind of want a third and hope that it's just something better. The Hellhound pup isn't terrible, and they all can, for the most part, a lot of them can be pretty good if you get them leveled up. I'm not gaining enough power ups to really level up any of these guys up, and gaining 1 rank seems very weak. We're just gonna gain another random familiar. Let's see what we get. This is becoming a Pokemon run here. All right. And we're going to take the 8th one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We've got the homunculus. Okay. With this one, you take the highest stat when gained, which is my 16 health. So we'll mark that it's using health. So it's actually going to have a 6 stat, which is neat. When you gain a power-up with a bonus matching transmutation, which is the name of the ability, at least 1 rank must be given to the homunculus. At the beginning of each combat, choose 1 stat type: vital, skill, or ability. Vital, ability, skill. Until the end of combat, the highest rank of the chosen type is reduced by half transmutation rank, and the lowest rank is increased by transmutation rank. Choose the stat if any ranks are tied. At rank 8, once per game turn, when you gain a power-up, you may spend 2 energy to change 1 stat bonus into another stat. Okay. At the beginning of combat, choose 1 stat type. Until the end of combat, the highest rank of the chosen type is reduced by half, and the lowest is increased by transmutation rank. So I kind of want to keep one of those low, I guess. It's going to set that might not be on camera, but again, there's a lot to look at here. Okay, I think that's finally the boss fight over. We did it. Yeah. So Mirza Noctis is going to gain 5 blood, up to 37. And we are going to roll for him then with a +2. So 7. Face an encounter as your circumstance next turn. If you have one, it becomes tenacious. Tenacious, I think, means you just fight at a higher level. Oh no, we can't flee from it. Okay. All right, well, we're still not ready for a level 5 or a level 6 boss fight. We might be able to take out a collector if, and only if, it's 1. So I don't think we can go towards the 2. Okay. Our navigate and our explore are still so low. Yikes. We have 19 money, which is not a lot. Cool. We're just going to head this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, yeah. What is this? That's G. We do have a quest on G that we can do. It's for a red rune. So it'd be right here. Okay. All right, we moved. Let's see here. Those are all way too high. We failed everything. So we are going to wander for 1, 2, 3, which is there. Okay. He is then going, oh, nope, we need a circumstance. And we have to fight an encounter. Dire Rats. Okay, it's just an outlast of 3. Oh boy. It is a creature swarm. The 3 things we can test for the outlast are our 3 skills, all of which are terrible. So I'm not even going to attempt to outlast them. I am just going to defend for 3 rounds. And then any damage that it does, well, it does do some piercing, but any damage that it does, hopefully, we can just bypass. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the plan. So let's see what it does for 3 rounds, because I'm not going to try to do the outlast to lower that quicker. So for the first one, can't see what that is. That is a hex. Those who fail become diseased and lose all items with the food subtype. Okay, so I'm now diseased and I have no items that have a food subtype. What does diseased mean? If I want to use energy, I first have to succeed on a survival roll. In order to rid yourself of this condition, you must heal in a location that provides healing. A village, or a monastery. Okay, we can go to a village next, because that does persist. So it does no damage to us. I'm just going to defend again. The outlast is down to 2. That is 1. I'm going to suffer 1 piercing health damage. The outlast is down to 1. I'm going to just defend. That is a 5, which is the diseased thing again. Cool. Okay, so we have outlasted the rats, so we will get 2 health. We'll be at full. This will go away. We get a 1 coin and some food that we can't hold. And we are still diseased, but we're going to go to a village and heal to get rid of that. Let's just do that now. Oh, nope, don't do that now. Increase the blood by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 42. It's not only the answer, it's how much blood Mirza Noctis has. And let's see here. 11, that's going to be another collector because we're adding 2 to it as well. That collector is going to village 5. Nope. Nope. Yep. So there are now 2 collectors in village 5. Okay. And then we are going to move to the village, and we're not going to be there because we can't pass a skill test to save our life. We did. And we hexed. What? It's got to talk. Talk crap to the dice more often. Okay, we hexed our survival, and I already forget what that means. Remove a crit, heal 1 lost energy, or gain a food. None of those things we can do, so that's fun. And then the navigate means that we are where we wanted to be. We are in a village. Since we are in a village, there's no circumstance, and we can buy some stuff. Nothing great, but we can buy some stuff. Okay. Let's see. We can pay 1 gold to heal all health and energy up to our defend rank. We have to do that to get rid of the disease, I think. I'm pretty sure. Even though we're full on health and energy, I'm pretty sure we have to do that. So we are going to spend a gold to do that. Yay, we're not diseased anymore. Cool. And then we're going to go ahead and spend 5 more gold to get our 3rd and final hunter's gear. So now when we kill something, we will heal 3 health and 3 energy. Just because I like that. That's kind of similar. In the other games, there are the Wanderer's Cloak, I think it's called. Every time you move, you heal 1 and 1, which is fun. So this one is kind of just, go fight some stuff, and then assuming you survive, you'll get a little bit back. We have 14 left. We could technically buy the rat or the canine familiar. We already have 3 familiars, though. That's getting a little annoying to even remember that they're sitting over there. We can investigate, so if we wanted to put an additional clue on something, we could. We can buy the scaling kit so that we can go through mountains. Considering where we are, we might want to do that. In fact, I might have had to go here a different way, but we had plenty of move left. We're in the mountain ranges, so let's go ahead and buy the scaling kit for 6. And you mark that over here that you have scaling kit. Okay. I mean, the magic torch gets you 1 extra time in the dungeon. I don't know if I'm actually going to go into the dungeon. I probably should. At the very least, to show y'all the dungeon, but you need to do it quick, because he's going to get to 100 and we're going to have to do the fight, and we will lose. Which at this point, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm good. Cool. So that was us in the village. He's going to get 5 more blood. Wait, 6 now. Yep. So 48. And then he is going to roll again. That is a 10. We move normally. It doesn't matter. It's a collector. So there's another collector in City 4. Nope. Nope. There we go. Uh-oh, there are 3 in City 4. If they get a 4th, Village 4. If they get a 4th, it's gone, and I don't know if they still collect or not. That I'll have to look up. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, we are up. I think we're just going to go 1, 2, reveal a tile. I think it'll fit there, and if it doesn't fit there, we're going to make it fit there. Here's another monastery. I can't tell. Oh, yeah. Boss 6, and then another random boss. So we'll go there. Move that down there like that. So that was 2 movement. We'll go here. Let's fight another random boss, I guess. Got to do something to try to actually improve our stats. All right. I mean, again, we're probably not there because our navigate is, chock full of garbage. Yeah, that's a fail. That's a fail. Hey, we found $2. We do have to wander. 3, which is down there. Okay, which means we do have a navigate or a circumstance. Hey, we did it! I forgot we were traveling during the daytime. I really don't want another familiar, but a little bit of a well, I guess. Cherished companion, a strange old lady approaches. Her smile is both warm and friendly, and what looks like a dozen animals surround her, getting close to receive a petting before dashing off into the brush, then coming back again. Charmed by your story, she instructs one of her treasured companions to look after you for a time. 1 hero gains 1 random familiar, then all familiars in play gain 1 rank. That part's cool. Okay, so let's gain another random familiar. We're going to do 8th one from the top again. Good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The bat. Okay. The bat uses Explore, so it's going to come in at a whole whopping level 2. Each time you are ambushed, roll a stat test against Sonar, which is the ability. If successful, negate the ambush. If you critically succeed, you may ambush the opponent instead. At rank 5 and every 5 ranks after, increase your opponent's evasion value by 1. At rank 9, you may spend 2 energy before combat begins to ambush an opponent. Okay. From the way this is going, this is effectively going to do nothing. However, all of the cherished companions now get a +1. So it will be a 3. My homunculus will be a 7. My Fey Dragon, Fey Touched ability is 3. My Fiery Temper of my pup is 4. Gotta catch 'em all. All right. That was our circumstance. We need a new one up there. The Long Night. This one is unavoidable. Okay. We might want to switch to nighttime because unavoidable usually means no bueno. All right. So that was our movement and circumstance phase. Gonna gain, what are they up to? 7 blood? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 55, and then we're going to roll. That's a cocked 5. That's a cocked 3. That's a 4. Okay. What did we move? We moved normally, so it's +1, which means that is actually a 5. 1 piercing health damage. Okay. Cool. Our turn. We are just going to move cautiously there, which means it is a... Oh, no, it's only a +1. Cool, +1. We are going to switch, and we're going to start moving at night. Again, I would like to get another encounter. I mean, I have a bunch of familiars, but only one of them is actually, helping. And I haven't even used them yet. What do we want to fight? Let's look at the level 2 bosses, I guess, here. 2. We have the Hermit. We have Nagaida's Machine. Okay, they both give 2 power-ups. One of them, the Hermit, gives another tile, which is fun. 2 money, some defense, 3 times Hunter's Gear, which I already have, of course. This one, some attack, 2 power-ups, 8 money. It is an Outlast, and it appears to be an Outlast of a die roll, and you get to test your skills. So yeah, that just sounds terrible. This one is also an Outlast. Oh, can only be fought during the day, and only if the Lycan has not been vanquished. So we can't fight the Hermit. All right, what about boss 3s? I don't know if we can take a boss 3. We have that hand cannon. If it weren't for that hand cannon, I probably would have given up by now. Okay. Well, we can't fight Keshkazul because our attack is not high enough. Kaeln's Manor. This has a picture on it with tile L, so I assume that means we can't fight this either. Unless we're on that tile. Oh yeah, it's a house. That makes sense, Brian. Okay. Yikes. I guess maybe I should have thought more before I came here. I don't know who I'm fighting. There's the Mad Alchemist. That's actually how you get the homunculus normally. That's the reward up here for fighting the Mad Alchemist. The Alran, which is actually right there, boss 4. So we can't fight that. Should we try the Mad Alchemist? 45 health. No. No, we're not gonna do that. what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we just stayed during the daytime, and we're going to fight the Hermit. Okay. Hermit's passive ability is you have to fight him during the daytime. Cool. It's daytime now. He may choose to increase... heroes may choose to increase the Hermit's Outlast instead of decreasing it when targeting Outlast. The Hermit is not vanquished if his Outlast is reduced to 0. Instead, the day becomes night, and at night he transforms into the Lycan. Okay. Negate any conditions he suffers from and begin combat with the Lycan at full vitals. Gain only the Hermit's rewards if the Lycan is vanquished in this way. Okay. Well, what level is the Lycan? Seven. Whew. Okay. So we can't fight the Hermits. Okay. Oh, no, we can't. Okay. The Hermit is not vanquished if his Outlast is reduced to 0. We basically just need to kill the Hermit in 3 turns. Because then, if we don't, he turns into the Lycan. Because it becomes nighttime. We're going to chance it. Okay, so 32 health. It's got 3 Outlast. Those are the 3 turns we have to defeat him. 18 energy. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to spend the energy to defend for half. While we defend, we're going to use the hand cannon. We're also going to spend 2 energy to use our Hellhound Pup, and so we're going to make him burn for 4. So in 3 turns, that'll do 12 damage, which means between the hand cannon and everything else we do, we need to do 20. Okay. What do these guys do? Nothing yet. At the beginning of each combat, choose 1 stat type. Okay. And to the end of combat, the highest rank of the chosen is reduced in half, and the lowest rank is increased by 7. So lowest would be one of those. Okay, so our highest rank is our defense. So our defense is actually reduced to half. So we're only defending for 1. That's fine. One of our 2 masteries is actually going to be up to a 12. So we're going to do otherworldly knowledge, which is going to allow us to do stuff with these guys, and it's going to boost it by half otherworldly knowledge, which will be 6. And because it's now above rank 6, it's also going to heal us for 3, which we don't super need, but I'm just going to put that on here. Heal 3 for us. And then we're going to go ahead and do 8 damage with the Haunting. We still have the Vampire Hunter, who is doing 6 damage. This guy is going to be doing 10 energy damage. And then we also have to roll for the hand cannon. That is 10 plus 10. So that is 20. So yeah, turns out we can kill it, but let's see what he does. 2, evasion 5. Okay. So that is 5. Heroes who successfully damage the Hermit this round may immediately roll a skill to target his Outlast. If the Hermit doesn't receive damage this round, his Outlast is reduced by 1 and 1 target becomes disoriented. Okay. So he evaded. I didn't say what he was evading. So, I mean, that was probably the hand cannon. We'll say that he evaded the hand cannon, right? Because I think it's equal to or greater than. Yeah, so he has evasion 5, so we need to roll below a 5. So you roll a 5, he evaded the hand cannon. All right, that is below a 5, so that'll be the 8 damage from the Haunting. Does he take the 6 damage? He does not. The burn he doesn't roll for because it's not an attack. So he's taking 12, which will put him down to 20. The hand cannon would have killed him. Oops. Okay. So he did receive damage, though. Cool. All right, so his Outlast goes down to 2. Oh, he's a humanoid, too. I have favorite opponent. And again, this also doesn't get reduced, so he's actually down to 16. And then I have favorite opponent for round 2. It's a hex, so 6 plus 2 is 8. So we just need to do 8 damage to him. The vampire is going to do 6. And then we are going to do we'll do spiritual energy this time, or synergy this time. So our haunting is going to swing for half. Yep, so plus it, so 8. Another 8, and then technically another 10 damage off his energy. 4. Group 4 energy and navigate. Those who fail become fatigued. I'm probably going to fail because my navigate's garbage. No, success. Okay, so he's doing 4 energy damage, which, yeah, I didn't defend. So I will be down to 3, but he's dead. Yay. Oh, I forgot the 4 burning as well, mainly because I erased it. All right, so that is a dead hermit. Going to get +3 because of our hunter's gear, so 16 and 6. And let's see, he is going to get us 2 money. He's going to get 2 defend. Hunter's gear, which we already have. 10 food, which we can't take. A hex tile, which is, okay, that is a crypt. And that is H as well. I feel like we had something for H. Nope. Okay. Right there. That is another crypt, which we have to lock. Go. All right, and 2 power-ups. All right, -1 and -1 for our rolls, so we are now at a -1. And we got 1 first mastery, and then choose one, a first mastery or 3 health. I'm sorry, second mastery or 3 health. So if I could give the first mastery to my pup, and I think I will. So the pup will now, when he does burn, he burns for 5. Cool. And then 3 health or a second mastery. Well, I can do health. When you gain a power up with a bonus matching transmutation, at least 1 rank must be given to the homunculus. At the beginning of each combat, choose 1 stat. So yeah, let's go ahead and give 1 to the homunculus, and I'll take, so this is going to be an 8. And then I'll take 2, so 18. Okay. Alrighty, and put a hex on here because we fought the monster there, the boss there. All right, that's us. So 7 more blood. 62. For -1 is, of course, 3, which is +1 penalty to our stat tests for the coming round. All right, we have 12 bucks. I could go to the monastery to buy skills for navigate and explore. That would give us 8 time if we went into the dungeon. It's not a lot. Oh well, I think that's probably what we're going to do, I guess. Let's go to the monastery. Probably didn't make it there. Oh no, we hexed it. We hexed 2! That's fun. Okay, so we hexed 2, which is a thing. But let's do the individual hexes first. So with the navigate, we're at the monastery. Yay. We can heal an energy with the survival, which we will. With the navigate, we can move an additional hex this turn if we wanted to, or place a clue. We're going to place a clue. And then when you hex 2, in addition to the normal bonuses, roll the moon die. That's a 12. And we get a random rune, which happens to be blue. So we get a, hey, we just randomly got the same amount of runes that we've gotten so far the entire game from doing quests. Okay, and then we're going to heal the energy. And we're going to put another clue. Roll a stat test against spiritual synergy. Yeah, we'll put another clue on there. That's maxed out now. So if we do that, we can roll that, and it'll be a -3 on our test. Okay, while we're in the monastery, let's grab that placard. Okay. Heal all vitals and negates ongoing conditions. So we'll be full on both. Okay, we can impart runes here, which, I mean, at this point we might want to. So the thing about imparting runes in a monastery, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can choose a specific color of rune and turn in just that color. If you do that, that monastery will only take that color for the rest of the game. Or you can do sets. And if you do sets, it resets, basically. So you could do a set of one of each color, and then you could use the monastery again for one color or for more sets. So we have 2 blue runes. If we put them in here, what that's going to do for us, each hero gains power-ups equal to the number of matching runes turned into this monastery. So because we're turning in 3, we would get 1 power-up for the first rune. Then we would get 2 power-ups for the second rune. So we would get 3 total power-ups if we turned in our 2 blue here. Which again, if we did monastery number 4, we would mark on here, takes blue. And that's all it's going to take is blue. But if we came back here again with a 3rd blue, we would get 3 more power-ups. Let's see here. The benefit of also doing a set is if you do a set, you actually reduce the blood pool. I mean, we don't have a set. I'm just saying for the purposes of you guys watching here. Also, if you turn in this set, every monastery has a grace that it can give you. But again, we don't have a set. Okay, so there are also things that you can buy at a monastery, including we have technically unlocked 1 crypt, that special one that we found. So we can buy gear upgrades up to 2 upgrades for each stat if we want to. We only have $12, so we can't do that. But in theory, we would be able to. Wish you could sell Hunter's gear. We technically have 3 extra Hunter's gear. Okay. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn in these blue runes. So this is La Quinta. It is Monastery 4. Yeah. So we have turned in 2 blue runes here. Okay. Which means we are going to get 3 power-ups. And I can already tell I should have done this in a different order. So prior to that, we are going to buy things here. And I am going to buy gear upgrade. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Okay. We'll just do these. So we have an attack and an explore. So our attack will go up to 7. And our explorer will go up to 4. Yay. We have 3 defend. Our defend is good. And then 2 energy, and this is going to give us a -2, which is going to be a -1 because we moved. Yeah. 2 energy, which puts us at 15 energy, which the cool part about that is we do go and we get another possessor. We got to go find the level 3 spirit. Okay. Nope. Nope. Oh, we had a 4 magical nature coming next. Gonna shuffle though. Is there a level 3 spirit? Pretty sure. There it is. Nightmare. Group. 4 health and navigate. Cool. Okay. So this guy joins our little crew here of possessed things, which is fun. So now when we use our abilities, we can activate those 3. Let's see, what does he get to do? On his attack, he does piercing energy damage. He's got a group attack that does 4 health damage. And then he has a triple target 4 energy damage. So targets who did not target the nightmare this round become frightened. Which I don't know. When you're using things like this as a character, I don't know how they work, because some of them like have evasion or do a thing if they're not targeted. Well, they're never targeted because they're technically not in combat. So I don't know how that works. So we'll just kind of play it out. But we got that. And now while we're here, I am going to spend $8, leaving myself with 4 to increase navigate and explore, each by 1. 4 and 5. All right, I have $4 left. I guess I'll do an energy. Get me closer to another spirit friend. $16 and $16. Cool. Okay, that is our monastery adventure. And on his turn, he's going to get 7, I think. So he's going to be up to 70. So there are 5 turns left in this game, unless I take out collectors. And even if I take out collectors, they're spread out so much that I'm not sure it'll super matter. Plus, people watching probably want to see the dungeon. I think we're just going to go into a dungeon for the fun of it. And then when we have to fight them, probably lose. But that's okay. All right. So we could go into dungeon 1. Yeah, let's go into dungeon 1. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we made it there. Our navigate is now 4. That's a 10. That's an okay. We went from double crit success to double crit fail. We did find $2. And we do have to wander. We are wandering in the 2 position, which is actually down here. I'm just going to cover this up, though. Oh, there's the 4th crypt. But again, we're just going to ignore that that's there for the time being. And then, what time of day are we traveling? We're going to say it's night and hope to roll a 1. That's a hex, which is a fight. Okay, the Witch Coven, a level 5. It is a humanoid, so I will have favorite opponent, which is cool. It is nighttime, so they are going to regen 5 energy. Okay. No, if you vanquish this Witch Coven by reducing their influence, also gain a random familiar. So that would basically be healing them to influence. That influence is from Forest of Adramon. They've kept that in the game. Okay, well, 20 health. Oh, we no longer have these 2 runes. We turned them in. All right, 20 health, 25 energy. I mean, I'm just going to defend, and we're going to blast him with the hand cannon, and the vampire hunter is going to do 6 damage. They are also a humanoid, so let's do my favorite opponent roll. That is a hex, which is 6, and 5 is 11. So I need the hand cannon to do 3. It hexplodes on 1s, so it's impossible for it to do less than 3. That's a 4. And a 7, I think. Yep. So 11 from the hand cannon. What are the witches doing? They are doing 3. They are doing 4 health damage. I am blocking 12, or I'm defending 12. They are also making me do a navigate roll, though, which I failed. I am bound to a random ally. I don't even know what that means, but they're dead, so I don't think it matters. Bound targets are tied to the life force of another being. Anytime the ally they are bound to suffers damage, the bound, yeah, they're dead. So, you're dead, fool. Okay. We would heal back up, but we are all full already. We get 4 money. We would get 9 food, but we're full up on food. And we do get a power up. Okay. So we get a blood magic tier and we get 2 explore. So our explore is up to 7. See, even the game wants us to go into the dungeon because that just gave us 2 more time per round. And the blood magic is basically, it's just a little deck of cards. And when you gain 1, and there's a chance you're supposed to start the game with 1, but I didn't bother because I don't use them very often, especially when I have 0 food rating, because the cost is you hurt yourself. So the cost for this one is 3 critical health. Choose an ally who has at least 1 critical wound. They lose 1 critical wound and gain a madness. This one refers to madness. That's from the expansion, so we're just going to pop that out there and grab another one. This is Pierce, 1 critical health. Negate an opponent's Aegis or evasion value this round. At tier 4 and every 4th tier after, this effect persists for 1 additional round. The tier that you are is just how many of these cards you have. So we are tier 1 currently. And this is just an ability that we can do on our turn. So it costs 1 critical health, meaning we will take 1 damage and we will take a critical wound, but it negates the Aegis of an opponent, which we're going to need because if we're trying to fight this guy at 100, it's currently impossible to hit his health until we clear his energy. Again, we're probably going to lose, but dungeon time. Okay, so still 7. 77 now. Blood. And another, yeah, and this is why I didn't go after the collectors, because they're about to get another collector. On 4, which is here. Okay, this is the rule I didn't want to have to look up. What happens when the village basically blows up? 42. Again. Okay, the moment a village would gain a 4th collector, which is right now, place a desolate village token on the location and leave the collector dice showing a value of 3. Noctis' agents have ruined the village. It continues to produce 3 blood for him each game turn. Heroes may no longer purchase items, heal, sell runes, or face collectors here. It is no longer an event location. Okay. So, we'll put that there. We lost Village 4, everybody. Sad day. You know, it's such a sad day. I'm even going to look up what it's called. Rise area. All right, we lost it. All right, we did it. We did that. We did the roll. Cool. Our turn. We're going to move cautiously, and we have. You know what? We might have. Do we have 2 crypt keys? I feel like I forgot to mark 1. We killed the Hermit. We killed the Dark Fae. The Hellhound gave us 1. I guess that's it. Okay. We're going to use our crypt key to open crypt 1. So this goes away. And we are now going to enter the dungeon. The weird part about this one. Yeah. So we technically already have a dungeon tile. It's right here. But this is the entrance to that other dungeon. We're all the way over here in dungeon 1. So I don't think we're actually going to place this. What I am going to do, because I basically need to play on top of this board, I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera here, and I'm going to come back with something. Haven't figured it out yet, so hopefully I get an idea here. And we're going to go ahead and then just try doing the dungeon, just to show you what that does. And then we're going to lose to Mirza Noctis. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and I found a piece of white foam core that I put on top of a box that is on the board. So we did it. We are entering through Crypt 1, which means you go through these dungeon tiles and you find one that has the Crypt 1 symbol, like so, because that is where we're entering. Give these a quick shuffle. Just put that one on the bottom. It's Crypt 3, which just means we have one less way out of here. All right, now to leave the dungeon, you basically have to come through one of these entrances or exits. You can find another one as well. So you're going to then put this little guy on there, and you can pretty much put it however you want, like so, if you want to. This is really just a key to show you where gems are going to go. And also, we're going to sub our, I forgot to grab our little mini, so we're just going to sub our mini in for that one. Works just fine. Now we have the amount of time equal to your navigate plus your explore. And you probably can't see it anymore, but our navigate is 4 and our explore is 7. I'm going to use this counter to mark how much time we have. So I have 11 time remaining. Whenever you find a new tile in the dungeon, you're going to roll 3 dice. And again, these are, I grabbed these. There are 3 different colors of runes, right? There's red, there's green, and there's blue. We've only seen blue. That's all we've only gotten blue. But there are the 3 different ones. So for the blue, you roll a d12, which normally would just be the moon die. And then for the red and the green, you roll core dice, the d10s. I just grab dice of those colors so that I don't have to remember which is which. And then you're going to roll them. On a hex through a 6, you place the rune where you are, basically. So let's see. All right, we got a 9 on the green, which is nothing. We got an 8 on the blue, which is nothing. We got a 4 on the red. So we're going to grab a red rune. I hope this is moderately centered. Ish. And you're going to just match it up with where it is. So there is a red rune right there. Now in the dungeon, you'll also see there's like little paths. So we can't just go right to it. There's a wall there. But we can go around this way and we can get to where that red rune is. And whenever you pass a place like this that has an open spot, you place another dungeon tile. The runes, you don't just get the runes. You draw cards. So for instance, when we go to that red one, here are some red cards. You then can turn 2 cards in for a rune. So you're getting runes more frequently because you're rolling 3 dice every time you see a rune, but they're worth half of effectively what a rune is on the outside. So again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start this now. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get here, we're going to stop, and I'm going to subtract 4 here, and we'll be down to 7. Because this is open, we're going to grab another dungeon tile, and we're going to place it however we want. And we did find an exit right off the bat. So this is the Crypt 3 exit, which is all the way on this side of the board. So if we wanted to, I mean, we could place that right here like this. We could go right to Crypt 3, and we could just pop out on the other side of the map. So that's kind of that teleport thing I was talking about a little bit earlier. You can also do it like this. See there, that was an opening. And then there's another opening here, so we can grab another tile. Right here is boss 10. Is that I don't remember. I don't remember if this is a way to fight Mirza Noctis or if this is for the expansion bosses. I'm actually just going to tuck this one in behind because I don't remember and I don't want to be able to just go fight Mirza Noctis if that's not what you're supposed to be able to do. So we're just going to place this one. And again, you have to place it in a way that like it'll fit, because if I did that, you can't get through here. So we'll do like this. Yeah, my hastily put together board is not perfect for this, but I have very few options as it won't fit on the table the way I have it set up. Okay, we've just revealed 2 new tiles, so we can now roll the dice again. So we're going to do this tile first. All right, so we've got a green one on 1, which is the hex. No, yeah, the 1 is technically a hex, so there. And then we have a blue one on 2, which is here. And now we're going to roll for that one. Oop, that one rolled off. Okay, 12 is nothing, 9 is nothing. A green one on 5, which is here. Okay. Now that we've placed those tiles, we continue moving. We have 7 time left in this round. When you're moving, you're not doing, or when you're in the dungeon, you're not doing stat tests. You're not doing circumstances. You're kind of still doing events. Whenever you land on a rune, you're going to pull a card for them. And then when you're out of time, you do the villain phase still. And that's it in the dungeon. So you're doing this and you're doing the villain phase. That's what you're doing in the dungeon. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to go up here. So this is one more time. And we're going to grab this red rune, which again, we're just going to put back in our stack. That was one time. And we are going to grab a red card. Okay, so the card is going to tell you how much more time the card costs. So in the top left, there's a little 2. So we're going to mark that. We're down to 4 time this turn. Ghostly foe. A chill spreads down your spine. Something is not quite right here. Draw and face an encounter. If it is a spirit, it becomes dangerous. If it is not, its type changes to spirit. If it has energy, it becomes tethered. Okay, I forgot about this part. So... okay, there we go. All right, so we drew ourselves a monstrous humanoid, which is also a spirit now. It's only got 15 health, so it's probably fair to assume that we could just hand cannon this thing to death. But let's see here. Oh boy, I was not set up for this. Let's just see what our hand cannon would do. It would be a 2. That'd be a 5. So that'd be a 7 from our hand cannon. And our, what's her name? The vampire lady would be doing 6. And then we would do our attack with those guys. So we are spending 2 energy. 1 to defend and use the hand cannon, and then 1 for our spiritual synergy. Let's see what it's going to do. 5. It's going to swing at us for 8 energy damage. We are blocking 6 of it because we defended, and it's half defend. If the target, nope. Yeah, if the target was frightened, they're not. So yeah, we are taking 2 more energy damage. Okay. And that fight is gone. It'll give us 4 gold, and again, more food, which we can't carry. Okay. So that was this guy. Now, this card, you're just going to kind of set to the side. And it says right on the bottom, collect 2 for 1 rune. So I now have 1 red card. If I get a second red card, I will just discard those and we'll get a red rune. So I'm just going to set that off to the side. We have 4 left. So we're going to go 1 and then we're going to reveal some more tiles here. Let's see. That looks like it's a pretty good spot. Okay. We have 3 left. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to roll 4 runes. Okay, we're going to get nothing on an 8. A 2 means we will get a green here. And then a 6 red is here. Now this is kind of convenient because if you spend your last time activating a rune, even if that card says spend 6 time, you're fine. You just have to be able to get to the space. So we have 3 left. We're going to go 1, 2 for this green one. So we only have 1 left. So it doesn't matter how many this says that we have to spend. We're still going to be able to do it. It only says 1. So we are out of time, but we are still going to complete the card here. Dinner is served. You find a table filled with an impressive feast. A lifelike statue watches you as you enter. So this is a group survival check. This is my survival. My survival's 3. Holy crap. I passed it. If any hero fails, the group is compelled to eat, draw, and face an encounter. Each hero reduces the rank of their first combat action equal to twice their food rating. Okay, each hero reduces the rank of their first combat action equal to twice their food. Okay, we didn't have to do a combat though. Yeah. All right, so we got a blue one as well. Our turn is over. We are out of time. So we are now going to do the normal villain turn. So I believe they were at 7. 1, 2, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So he is at 84 blood. And again, I probably should have gone and killed collectors. They were too spread out, and I was too weak early game. And then he's going to make his roll. 9. Is that another collector? Oh boy, what did I do with that thing? Oh man, what a terrible way to be doing this. Oh boy. Okay. First try. Yep, that's another collector. It's going to go on City 2. For the time being, I'm not going to lift this up and put it on City 2. But City 2 has another collector, so he's now getting 8 per turn. It's now back to us. We're in the dungeon still, so we go back up to 11 time. And we can keep on keeping on. So we're going to spend, now this little thing here, you can pass through that wall. You just have to make a navigate check. That's what that little symbol is. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go 1, 2. And we can reveal another tile. This here is an entrance / exit to the second crypt. We'll put it like this, and then we will roll to see what kind of runes it has on it. A 10, an 11, and an 8. So that has nothing on it, so there's no real reason to even think about heading that way. So we're going to go 1 and 2, and we're going to get to this red rune. We did spend 2 of our remaining time. We're going to draw another red card. This one is a 3 cost. Soul Tide. Draw and face an encounter. Each hero chooses either attack or defend, then either mastery. Heroes treat unchosen abilities as having a 0 rank until the end of combat. The opponent uses their basic attack action instead of their mastery if it's rolled. Okay? So... oh boy. A giant constrictor. So it has 18 health. Okay. Cool. Each hero chooses either attack or defend, then either mastery. Heroes treat unchosen abilities as having a 0 rank. The opponent uses their basic attack instead of their mastery. Okay. I'm going to choose defend, and I'm going to choose first mastery. And then I am going to defend. And I'll defend at half rank with the 1 energy. Solo mode rule. And then I'll spend an energy to do my first mastery. While defending, we of course are going to use the hand cannon. So let's see what that does. That's an 11. And that's a 7. So 19 from the hand cannon, 6 from the vampire, and then my people are going to do some stuff as well. So it's dead unless it has some type of crazy heal. No. Duel. It is going to do 6 health damage to us, but we defended for half defense, which was 6. So we are good. That's going to get us a power up, which is 1 to our second mastery. it's going to get us 3 money. And again, food that I assume that we're just kind of like refreshing our food. We now have some fresh snake, you know. Okay, we now have 2 red cards. So I'm just going to discard the 2 red cards. And then on your battle mat, I'm going to put that we have 1 red rune. See how quickly we got a red rune in the dungeon versus the 1 blue rune we got via doing the circumstances and doing the investigations. That's why, to me, the dungeon's pretty much mandatory, especially once you get a decent amount of time and you can spend. I mean, I've been down in the dungeon before where I've had 20, 30 time. So you're doing a whole bunch of stuff, and the villain's only getting 1 roll that whole time because your navigate and your explore is so high. Okay, we have 4 left. We're going to go 1, and that's going to let us reveal another one. Let's see here. We'll do it like this. And let's see what that room's got. 1, a 9, and an 11. So a red right in the middle. Okay. We have 3 left. 1, 2, and 3. That is going to take away all of our time. However, we will still populate the dungeon here. We're going to put 1 here. Like so. And then we're going to put 1 here. Like so. And we will populate this one first. An 8, a 2, and a 2. Okay, so when you have 2 of the same number, in the base game, I think you're supposed to just add or subtract 1 and put 1 of them there. In the expansion, they actually added purple runes, and when you roll the same number, I think you put a purple rune out, and it's like a wild color. So you can use that as whatever you want. I'm just doing base game rules, so we are going to put a blue and a red out, and we'll put the red there, and then we'll do the blue. We'll just do there. Guess, you know what? We'll make it easy on ourselves. We'll put the blue there on 1. Okay. Then we're going to populate this one. Hey, they all hit. Okay. So we have a red on 1. That's in the middle. We have a blue on 3, which is on the bottom. And then we have a green on 5, which is up here. Cool. We are out of time, though. So he was getting 7. He is now getting 8 because of our last roll. We have 1 turn left because he is at 92 blood. Okay. We're going to go back up to 11. Oh, I'm sorry. He has to roll again. And not that it super matters. It's a 2. Piercing energy drain. Oh, technically we defeated 2 things while we were down here. So we should probably actually be full. So I'm just going to take this down to 15 because of our hunter's gear. Cool. All right. Typically when you're in the dungeon, like I want to get another green so that I can have a green rune, but at the same time, the boss fight is about to start. So I think what I'm going to do is, do I just leave and then go? We'll just do some more dungeon stuff. So we're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to try this red one. See what we got. Cost 3. The dampening chamber. Suddenly you find your strength of will sundered. Draw and face an encounter. When combat begins, each hero treats all of their ability ranks as if they were equal to their lowest stat rank until the end of the combat. If you vanquish your foe, each hero gains 1 energy rank. Okay. I'm going to hand wave the fight, I think, because it's time for the final fight after this round anyway. Oh, and it's not even... Okay, menace. If the hermit or lichen have not been vanquished, we've killed the hermit. Locate and play this bounty card, his bounty card, the lichen. Reshuffle the night deck, then choose one. Okay, but they have been, so I think we're good. There's actually not a fight. All right, so 6 time left. We can't get to either of those 2 runes. However, we'll spend 1 time and go here. And we'll reveal another one. We're going to do this. And we'll do this. And we'll populate this one. 2, 2, and a 9er. So the 2s, green and red. Do the same thing we did last time. Okay, and then we'll do the one up top. A 4, a 10, and an 11. So the 4 will go right there. Oh, we're right next to that one. Yeah, we're going to go that one. Boom, green. Okay, that was a time. Oh, we did the dampening chamber. So another green card. This cost 2 time, so we are down to 2 time for this round. Crack wall. This wall looks like it'll come down with even the smallest amount of force. Each hero may roll an attack stat test. If at least one hero succeeds, that hero suffers 3 non-lethal health damage and you break through the wall. The group may move up to 3 hexes, ignoring walls. This movement costs no time. Okay. It says you may. I don't think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So, you still get it. I'm not going to try to bust through the wall to move 3 for free. So that gives us 2 of those. And then I'm going to spend the last 2 movement and we're going to leave because this is Crypt 2. Technically, we could do another green card, but I'm just going, for the time being, just going to leave and we're going to come out on Crypt number 2. So, again, I'm going to pause and hopefully come back to a board that looks normal. All right, we are back with a normal-ish looking board. A couple things of housekeeping. Technically, 2 should have a second collector on it. That's the one that we rolled, but I couldn't mark. And then we come out on Crypt 2, which automatically unlocks. So this will go away. We also had 1 red card, which is nothing. 2 green cards, which is a green rune, which we can mark. Cool. Okay. Let's put these over here for the time being. All right. And then we are in a crypt. So I think you can still take like your normal turn that you would in a crypt because you popped out, which for us means we can turn in runes, but we don't have a set or anything like that. But we can turn in each of those and basically get 2 power-ups, which isn't going to help us in this final fight that's about to happen, I don't think. Oh, we will technically lower his blood pool by 2. So that will be helpful. Because instead of 100, he'll be at 98. So we don't fight the huge big bad. We fight the pretty huge, slightly less bigger bad. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to get 2 power-ups quick with those runes. Okay. 3 energy. Which is almost enough for me to go get another person in my little room. I'm just going to max this out too. And then favorite opponent blocks. This is also, I think, new in this one. Your favorite opponent, when you draw this, doesn't necessarily have to do damage. You can also block with it, which is kind of neat. There's block. I think there's a heal. I'm not sure what other ones there are, but if you get these, your favorite opponent can do more than just damage, which is kind of neat. Okay. Well, on their turn, 8 blood puts him at 100. This only goes up to 99, but either way, we're going to reduce that by 2, and he's going to be at 98. Now, how he works, this is kind of cool. And one of the reasons that I kind of did want to end with high blood anyway, is he has this little board thing. I wasn't prepared for this. And then when he's full up, we're basically done with the board. We're just going to put this out like here. There we go. You look at where he was. So he was technically at 98. So he, because of the reduction from turning stuff in at the crypt. What you're going to do, though, for every 10, you're going to roll on his augments. And he's going to get one of the augments. And it makes his abilities more powerful. So for our purposes, we're just going to go ahead and pretend like he was at 100 because it's just going to be easier. And we're going to give him all of them. So you put this thing out here like that. And then he comes with these little placard-like things. And you just find the ones that he needs. And you flip it to the red side. That's his worst side, basically. Now, normally, if he wasn't at 100, which again, technically he was at 98. Okay, you know what? He's at 98. This is the one he doesn't get. 3. So he is not going to get the bonus to his purple ability there. Okay, so he's going to get this one, and then you just tuck him in like this, which is kind of cool. And then, so this is the one he's not going to get. It's for 3. So it really changes him up to, depending on which ones he gets. And if you're, play better, or, play to the point where you're not trying to get these. Okay. And then I shouldn't have done that underneath because he's got some other passives. That totally worked. It didn't. Okay. Cool. Okay. So there are him and his abilities. He also, though, does also have vitals equal to the amount of, he raises vitals equal to the amount of blood he's gathered. So he will have, I'm just gonna call it 100 for the sake of math purposes. So he's gonna have 230 health and energy. He gains evasion 7 and defend 5, and he gains regen 3, both health and energy per hero. Which again, it's just me. So 3. Oh no. All right. Meanwhile, we're also playing. So he's going to have 230 health, 230 energy. Our vampire hunter, he is also an undead or ascendant, neither of which do we have for our favorite opponent. So this is just going to be a fight, and I really should put that in quotes. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the 6 damage from our vampire, Isabella, our friend Isabella. Then we are going to, do I have enough energy? Got to remember these guys too. We're going to spend 2 energy so that our pup will burn him. I'm going to mark that and just call it 5 burn. So he's getting hit for 5 every round. I'm going to move these here. Put this up here. Might be easier to see. Okay. So he's going to get hit 5 from the burn. The Fey Dragon, I don't think is going to actually do anything. Yeah. Sonar, no, it never got high enough. So I don't care about those. The Homunculus. At the beginning of each combat, choose 1 stat type. Until the end of combat, the highest rank of the chosen is reduced by half transmutation rank, so 4. And the lowest is increased by transmutation rank. So effectively, we're going to say our defend is an 8 for all intents and purposes. But our spiritual synergy is a 13. That's basically what the homunculus is doing. Yeah. Okay. We are, of course, going to use our hand cannon. So let's go ahead and see how that does. which we have to spend an energy to do that. So we're defending for half our rank, which again, our rank is actually 8, kind of. So we're defending for 4, but we get to use the hand cannon. For 2 and 12, which explodes. So 14, 17. Okay. And then for our actual ability then, we're going to use Spiritual Synergy, which costs 1 energy. So that's the one where we're going to perform each action from our possessors, and it's going to boost their numerical by half, their numerical effects by half Spiritual Synergy rank. Spiritual Synergy rank is, again, technically 13. So we're going to boost their stuff by 6. When they're doing the attack action, I can convert that to heal energy if I want to. The number of targets does not change. Okay. And we boost the heal by 4 as well. So now he is Aegis 8 because he was 98. So I cannot attack his health until his energy is low. I forgot that. So we are actually going to be attacking his energy through the Creeping Shade, I guess, and the Nightmare. So we can't, the hand cannon, we're not going to use the hand cannon. I forgot about that. What was the 5? Oh, the burning. The burning I don't think is going to, I mean, we'll still do the burning, but it doesn't hit energy. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to have to, yeah, I mean, we're not going to win this. It's probably pointless even fighting it, but we're going to give it the old college try. So we're still going to spend the 1 energy to defend for half. We're still going to spend the 2 energy to get him burning, just because. And actually, the burn will still take effect because that's not us attacking him. So the pup could kill him in like 3 years. And then we're still going to spend 1 energy to use these guys. When we're using these guys, the Haunting are going to basically attack. We're going to switch their attack of 8 to an energy heal of 8. And then we are going to use the Creeping Shades attack, which is 4 energy, which will become 10 energy. So they're going to attack for 10 energy. The Nightmare is going to attack for 12 energy. And that's how we're going to have to do it. I mean, until he kills us. So let's see how quickly that happens. Here we go. He's going to do 3. Oh, this is his 1 ability that's not upgraded here. That's exciting. Oh, yeah, and he has evasion 7, too. So he might actually evade. That's the first attack. He does not evade. The second attack, he does evade. So he won't take the 12. Okay. All right. Heroes using their first mastery, to damage Noctis, target an ally instead, and must roll Explore with a +1 penalty. Those who succeed deal half damage to that ally. If no hero targets Noctis with their first mastery, he uses Exsanguination instead. Okay. Well, I'm not targeting him with my first mastery. I'm targeting my possessors with it. So he's going to use Exsanguination instead. That's fair. So Exsanguination. Each hero using a defend action, I am, technically, suffers 14 health damage, split evenly, rounded up, among them and permanently loses maximum health equal to 1/3 their defend rank. Noctis raises health and equal to the target's defend rank. If no hero is defending, this action targets a single target instead. Well, it's going to do that anyway. Actually, no, technically it is targeting our vampire. She might be dead. Each hero using defend, I am. And I'm using defend at half rank. I'm using defend at 4. So I'm going to suffer 14 health damage. 4 of that I'll block. So I'm going to take 10. We're already down to 8. Permanent loses max health equal to 1/3 their defend rank. Is that the defend rank I'm using or my actual defend rank? It's probably the defend rank I'm using, which is 4. So I'm going to lose 1 permanent health, which when you lose permanent, you lose both. So that's 17 and 7. If no hero is defending, I was. Okay. I think that's them. So, yeah. He's going to do one more thing and I think kill us. Yeah, that's the same move. So I could defend. If I defend for 12, he will hit me for 2, but then he will permanently lower my health by half that? Is that what it was? 1/3. So he will permanently, so he'll hit me for 2, bringing me down to 5, and then he will lower my health 4, which will bring me down to 1. So yeah, I've lost to Mirza Noctis. Again, this one, I didn't really play this one, I guess, the way I normally would. I mean, I did, except for at some point, probably should have gone after the cultists, maybe gone into the dungeon earlier. But this brings me to kind of what I was talking about earlier, some of the things I don't like about it. Had I not gone into the dungeon, these are gone. In the 10 minutes I was in the dungeon, I got just as many runes as I got the rest of the game. So you pretty much, the game is telling you go into the dungeon. The dungeon's fun. I like the dungeon. The cards are kind of neat. The blue ones are actually, they all have like a wielder bonus. These are ones that you could choose to keep, and you could actually just keep them for their ability and for the wielder bonus. Or you can discard them and turn them in for blue runes. So you kind of, some of them, you'll definitely wait to discard them until you're out of the dungeon so that you can get those runes. But if you go and turn a bunch of runes in at the same time, and again, there's been games where I've done this. So we turned in 2 blue runes at a monastery and we got 3. If you go into the dungeon and you come out with 6 blue of the same color, you can go to the monastery and turn in those for 1 + 2 + 3, so 6, 10, 15, 21. You'll get 21 power-ups if you come out with 6 of the same color. And if you have enough time and movement down there, it's not that difficult to get 6 of the same color. Obviously, my issue was that was easily the most I've rolled bringing fresh collectors out. 8. I've never had it up to 8 before. There's been games where I've been playing for an hour and a half and had just gotten lucky and they haven't rolled a 9, 10, or 11, and there have been 0 collectors out on the board. So that part can be a little finicky, I guess. But for the most part, like I said, I still like the game. This, though, just for me, of the 4 volumes, this is the one that I bring out 100%. I mean, a lot less than the other ones. Like I said, this was my 14th play of 95 Hexplore it plays. Now, granted, this is the newest one. I haven't had it as long as the others. But I would imagine when the 5th volume of this comes out, I will play the 5th volume for 15 times before I played this one more time, would be my guess. Unless my nephews want to play this one. I'll play whichever one they want to play, and they kind of bounce back and forth. But still very, very fun. Some of the stuff they added was fun. Familiars are cool. Sometimes they can be difficult to get. Other times, like I have 4 right now, and you could just buy some. I think there's 4 that you could buy. Other ones you're going to find randomly, or you're going to find from other boss fights. They're fun. You just really need to pay attention to what they do, because it's just another thing that you have to remember. For instance, like the homunculus thing, I forgot when we were in the dungeon, its whole, hey, your lowest one, and your lowest one is cut in half, but your highest one's cut in half, but your lowest one gets 8 more in this case. That's kind of neat, and that can really change how you're going to be buying your upgrades for these. Because if you get your level of transmutation up really, really high, and I really wanted to use spiritual synergy, well, I want to keep that low, because that's the one then that's just going to get the bonus from that. That's kind of cool. The critical wounds is fine. I'm indifferent, I think, on the critical wounds. The blood magic is neat, and I feel like that's the only real reason the critical wounds are even in the game, is so that you're not just constantly using blood magic. You need to have a reason to not use it, and that could be because, well, if I get one more critical wound, I'm dead. So there's some pretty cool stuff in this one, and with a lot of their stuff, you can use it. Like the familiars, you can use the familiars in whatever game you want. In Sands of Shurax, there's the gambling that you can do. You can do gambling in all of the different games. They actually say in the rule book what locations on every board can you go to go gambling. You know, they don't have a gambling den like Sands of Shurax has, but in the one you can go to like the Dwarf Kingdom, and you can go there to gamble, things like that. So again, still fun, still love the game. It's just, for me, if I were to rebuy all of them, and I would, this would be the fourth one I would rebuy. I mean, I'd buy them all at the same time, but I guess just ranking them, for me, number 4 is fourth. But really high hopes for number 5, Mountains of Godai. Looks fun. It is currently on boats being shipped, so hopefully I will get that one here by the end of the year, and then I will get a video posted of that one for sure at some point. I don't know if that'll be this year, because I think it's going to probably be cutting it pretty close to actually get that one delivered by the end of the year. So, but yeah, that was Hexplore for the Domain of Mirza Noctis. That was a loss and also a very suboptimal play, but I think I showed a lot of what the game was doing, which is kind of what I wanted to do. The dungeon itself, like I said, it's fun. It's just one of those things that you can't just jump into it right away, but you need to get in there. So you're really trying to get your navigate and explore up. And if you start with a character that has a high enough navigate and explore, I would just jump into the dungeon immediately. And then by the time you came out, you wouldn't even need to do any of this stuff. Just go find where Mirza Noctis is go find his castle, and then go punch him in the face. So, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. I think we had some comments on some of the other videos that I did that this was, at least 1 or 2 people said this was their favorite. So let me know in the comments if you've played these. How would you rank them? For me, I think Shurax is 1, and then this is 4, and Adramont and Valley of the Death King kind of jump back and forth between 2 and 3. They're really 2A and 2B. Those I like about the same. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments if you've played them all, or which ones you've played and which ones you like. So, but for the time being, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time.